Oh, good morning, good morning. Oh, this thing gonna break already. I want this candle here to close bullish. Because right now the 5-minute is in a... It's much harder for it to move down at the moment. The daily time frame is also bullish. So I was looking to see if we can get price maybe here first close on the 1-minute, and then we potentially look for a buy over here. Today is NFP day, so you know, be cautious, trade with caution. We also got a clean range on the 5-minute here that price can continue to move up towards like 50, 59 over there. And we got multiple rejection wicks towards the downside, so we just need to get through those SMAs. All right, Chav, this candle here breaks the highs I'm going to get stuck in. All right, I took my buy over here. Awesome, guys. Securing my profit. W trade. TP has been hit. Very well done. Simple. TFX concepts, baby. We are efficient as we possibly can be. See this? This is what true freedom is. This is what true freedom is. Mastering a system, knowing exactly when you should be taking your trades, done and dusted, in and out. In and out, baby. Come on now. Come on now. Do the TFX dance. Da, 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 da. So this trade over here only took about how long? How long we've been streaming for? 1 minute. It only took me 1 minute over here. My trade this morning, it took me... Actually came in, yeah, 8 minutes. Took me about 8 minutes. Simple. Now price can continue at this point. Oh, look at this. The range has been filled. We've already filled the range up towards 50, 59 over here. Amazing. The range has been filled. So this is the whole idea over here. That price was going to have a hard time to move down. And the overall trend is still towards the upside. Right, we got clean traffic. You can see the price action today is not the greatest. Right? It's not the greatest PA. But, you know, I think you just got to trust your system sometimes. You just got to trust your system that it's going to play out even in difficult conditions. From this day forth, you put your trust in me. All right, so let's see over here. Now we're going to see if price can continue to move up, if it can break above this resistance over here. So all I can offer you at this point is just some tea. You know, if you watched my reel yesterday, all I can offer you now is just some tea. See if we're going to find this thing over here. At this point, don't ask me buy or sell. Because now I'm going to be like, Bojo.
You apologize for what you...
Like for everybody coming into stream late now. You got to see everybody comes into stream late. Yeah? They come into stream
you
late.
apologize for your comment?
Will you have a cup of tea?
Will you apologize for your comment?
Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah, sure.
Go on, have a cup of tea.
Thank you, thank you. Do you regret... Do you
like
regret,
a cup of
do you regret your comments? Do you regret your comments,
Don't
sir?
go on, have a cup of tea.
Thank you very much.
There you go. There you go.
Do you regret your comments, sir?
I want you to have a cup of tea.
If I have a cup of tea, will you answer my question?
No, I'm here solely on a humanitarian mission because you've been here all day and you've been incredibly patient and I feel very sorry for you because I have nothing to say about this matter except to offer you some tea.
Okay.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Would you apologize for your comments?
Just have a cup of tea. So that's Bojo, the once upon a time Jerome Powell of the pound. Now look at this thing. Hey, this thing just flag up over here. I'm in and I'm out. I'm in and I'm out. Hey guys, I'm in, I'm out. I'm in and I'm out. Every day. The same thing. We're just in and we're out. Robbing a bank. 24/7. Signal is actually at 3 a.m. Just got the London money in. Robbing a bank. All right. So yeah, the daily time frame right now is up 0.70 percent, and we are expecting further upside. If price has already been moving up like this, it may mean that there's a lot of like bullish sentiment in the market, right? So there's a lot of bullish sentiment. Then if people are already buying, it seems like people are already buying here as the NFP is upon us. They may be presuming price can continue to move up bullish. Because it could be pricing in. Basically, this could be like a small pricing in. But, you know, I think like if you're going to be trading the NFP here today, then you got to do it on account, not on a main account. Because that's not trading, that's just gambling. So it's pretty good if you're able to get your trades in before the NFP starts today. And then you should be pretty good. I'm done for the day. I'm up right now about 4.35%. TFX concepts now. Come on. Come on. YT shots making you laugh. I miss Boris Johnson. I remember that. I remember that video. Was that not during the time the whole thing with the fisheries was going on in the UK? Man, Boris Johnson costed me so many trades. Like this guy would be speaking like every other day, like every other week, like every week he would be speaking, he would be saying something, and I was just trading predominantly pound yen. Boris Johnson is the reason I started trading gold. Is the reason I traded gold. There's this one day I was in these buys, and the PA looked kind of similar like this on gold. And then Bojo came in, and I was already in like deep profit, correct? I was looking for like maybe a 1 to 2. I had a fat stop loss during that time. And then, you know, all of a sudden, pound started dumping. That was the day I traded gold. I traded like a break and a retest play on gold on the 5 minute. And yeah, ever since then, it's just been amazing. Yeah, it did me a favor for sure. That's when I knew the pound was too manipulated. Like, this is how, for me, the pound during that time was like looking like. It always seemed that it would not go anywhere. But you see here, the range got filled. We don't know if the... You see, we all say like, we're going to know like price can move from here to here. But we don't know if we can continue passing through this level. We're going to pass through that zone. We don't know because we got that resistance over here by 50, 60. So let me tell you something, man. It's not these market conditions to trade right now. If you got to like have a profitable trade, man, just call it a day. It's an NFP day. If you had a profitable trade, you're going to be one of the very few people, especially on a day like this, they're going to make a profitable trade on gold spot. Something like NQ is also kind of consolidatory here. It's down 0.02%. It's a doji. There's no decision in the market. Like since yesterday as well, the market has been kind of like a doji. I think mainly because we're waiting for these fundamentals to come in. We got the NFP. Then we have core CPI on Friday, I believe. And it's also quite strange because we're getting the NFP on a Wednesday because of the government lockdown. I was here ready and my stinking MT5 was still processing the stop when price cross. Literally a millisecond and I missed a trade. So be it. Yeah, there's also going to be a lag on YouTube. There's a lag on YouTube like 10 seconds. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're planning on getting a trade, any kind of a trade here, I think it played out quite nicely. But you see 10-second lag on YouTube. But anyway, what can you do? What can you do? You know, this whole YouTube streamer thing, you're not going to make money on YouTube, guys. You need education. You need education. You need to lock in. You need some kind of consistency in your life. YouTube, you guys just got to enjoy YouTube. That's all that YouTube is. It's not, you're not taking anything serious. Like, people on YouTube, on the gulag, they're not like taking so serious. You know, you're going to learn a lot on the streams, but man, you need to commit yourself. Like, you know, in life, you never get anywhere without commitment. Like, I promise you that much. You're never going to get anywhere without commitment. You always got to have to invest in yourself in whatever it is that you do. There's no shortcuts. Like, and man, this is coming from a person who likes to do a lot of shit himself. Like, if I can do it myself, I'm doing it myself. I don't like asking people for help because I always feel like that also slows me down. Like, if I'm going to do it, I prefer do it myself. To the point, even like if I have to clean my house and I can afford a maid, I just feel like I would rather do it myself because I think I can do it better. You know what I mean? But sometimes, like with growth, and you seek more growth, you're always going to need some kind of a support over there. There's no two ways about it. And also putting the effort in is also quite important. Like actually applying yourself, you know, not always just being on the sidelines. Like, you have to get on the court. You have to start playing ball. But yeah, I think, you know, everybody got their own timing. It took me about like 6 months to realize that. But it's okay. Right now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wait and see what price here is going to do. Because see, now we have a lot of swings. A lot of swings, a lot of wicks in the market. Really not appetizing, but damn, it feels good to be back on MetaTrader, guys. Like, I miss MetaTrader so much. I don't even know why I ever went to CTrader. Ah, home sweet home. Commitment. Yeah, all I'm asking you is a commitment of 100%. Now it's gonna become back to your first love. Yes, sir. Back to where it all began. But CTrader, it's a terminal like MetaTrader. Place trades on. Hey coach, should we look for long or sell? How about some tea? Can I offer you some tea instead? Do we got tea emoji here? Let me get you some tea, man. Let's have like a nice warm cup of tea. Sit back, relax, and just, you know, kind of like watch price here with us. Paper trade with us. Gonna paper trade with us. You're gonna, you know. Right here. Let's see what US 100 is doing. US 100 is distributing to the downside. Let's see on the 15 minute, let's 30 minute. Yeah, US 100 looks like it wants a tank towards the downside. You got a support here on US 100. If you get through that support, then you have another range here. It's like about 146 pips. So this is a key area that US 100 is going to be looking at. So if it can cross over that zone, kind of like try and look to fill up this range here on the left hand side, I think that's when like a real tumble will come in. Because, you know, for right now, it still has like support levels. But once we get through those support levels, we're going to see price continue to move down bearish. So it's just in currently a distribution phase right now, US 100. It's breaking away from this area right over here. And it's basically just paying out traders right now. helping out traders. Goldie's definitely gonna be giving out a lot of whips here today to people. Not careful. I think with gold, it's much better to get into these trades when price is already retraced down. Correct? Then you can look for a setup up. That would be probably the best idea. Because if you start buying like highs and stuff, maybe you're gonna be more prone to these kind of like pullbacks. Because prices overall, it's sending us a message right now. Gold is sending us a message that it doesn't want to go anywhere before NFP. So it's one of those like days, you know, it's one of those liquidity grab type of days. It's gonna range, it's gonna spike people out. Surprisingly, we've been having pretty nice trades so far this morning. Like we hadn't had a situation where we had to deal with anything crazy. We've managed to get in and out, you know, like these windows in the market. We always talk about like windows. They're pretty small. So, you know, like we've been able to get into like pretty legit areas where price action was clean. You know, we took a buy right over here, pretty decent PA, clean range. Resistance was formed, break of the highs to continue moving up. Then same thing here. You see, it's a small window of opportunity that's found like within all this mess right over here. So, but overall, it's one of those days where it's you gotta be like very, very careful, I guess. You see, it's like constrained. Even though we're up 0.54%, basically we are trending right now. It's showing that it might continue to move up. It's either two things: people getting in quickly for NFP expecting longs, or it's a pricing in, meaning it's gonna move up to price in the sells that are potentially gonna come in later during the day, you know. Either one of those scenarios. But that's why we don't trade news, especially like red folder days like NFP. Like that's just all gambling. Like everything you see on Forex Factory is all gambling. Like I prefer trading macro news when you got Trump says something and you see the market starts to move. Like at least that's like solid, you know. He said something, there's an advancement here, maybe it's a tariff or a geopolitical tension. It's like solid, right? Like NFP and these things, like people are going to trade them, they're just gamblers. People who are going to think that they know what the numbers are going to be, also just gambling. Sure, you can read the sentiments here. We're expecting 50 to 60k, which is actually should be good for the dollar and bearish for gold. But you can never know like fully over here until that actually happens. It's going to be like 8:30. I'll be like around 8:30. Just ignore these. Like if I could tell you one thing, if you have the luxury to just trade around it, like let's say before the news comes out, just do that. Or maybe 1 hour after the news comes out. It's an unnecessary variable because trading is already as difficult as it is, correct? Like it's already difficult enough. So adding in yourself like another problem, you're just adding an additional problem to your already very challenging endeavors. It's like you don't got enough problems. Let's see. What is this? Oh, I think I gotta download this. First entry. Oh, nice. This is on US 100. NAS. Nice little break. Second close, first entry. Oh, it's scaled in. Tighter stops. Very clean. Yeah, and it's like that bearish momentum seems to be so far the case for US 100. Although the daily time frame is still like a doji candlestick, it's still quite bearish. Look at this huge dumps over here. It's 0.10%. Man, US 100 is slow. It's so slow. Like you get these moves, they're like GJ moves. Like 10 pips, you get like 10 pip move, 10 pip move, you know, 20 pip. It seems like a lot slower. I think I've gotten too spoiled by Goldie. And it's an index as well, which is quite interesting. It's a NASDAQ. It's a NASDAQ, but it definitely moves slow. It's not like US 30. US 30 moves faster than this. So yeah, you gotta start trading. You gotta start trading gold. I would say you gotta get really good at trading gold. Forget about these prop firm rules. You think institutions have rules like they give it like in a prop firm that you can't trade gold or silver? Man, institutions gonna trade where the money is. You gotta start thinking a little bit more mature about the markets. This whole prop firm thing it's just a phase, man. It's a phase, and you guys are gonna waste so much time on it. And when the phase finishes, you're gonna look back at those years. I don't know how long the phase is gonna be. You're gonna look back at it and say, damn, I wish I actually learned about trading than, you know, trying to do all these things. Because I know what's going on right now. Social media is making you guys think a lot of people are passing those things. People are not really passing those things. It's not the case. It's not the case. Just don't waste time, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't waste time. All right, so prices come down. We have a range here about 56 pips. There's like 50-58 over here. So if it creates like a little bit more structure, I think, you know, it's gonna look pretty good here. Then price can go up again. But right now the daily's still about 0.56, so it's still holding quite strong. Let's see what we got. What else we got? We don't have any psychological numbers. The only thing I see kind of holding there might be like that 50-50 mark. You got 50-50. Yeah, nothing else. There's a daily flip that's right over here. If we drop about 260 pips, we gotta get through like 50-50 at least. That's the only psychological point that I see. Yeah, there's really nothing else. I think the market is just waiting here for the NFP predominantly. That's a main event, like for markets today. That's the main event. But right now, I think it's pretty good sharky waters, right? Very, very sharky waters here today. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of whips. People are gonna get loads of whips even before the New York opens. Because there hasn't been any like real crazy fake outs that have happened yet, but there might be one. I'm expecting a really big fake out today, like a big manipulation. That's already how it's gearing up. When it was like accumulating like this, it's just gathering orders in. Because, you know, mind you, people have really big stop losses. So everybody just kind of gets stuck in. And the longer the market holds a range, the more positions are being added, right? And people have really big stop losses. So I'm anticipating it might just hold it up until, and people also day trade, like they're going to hold till the market close or a few extra days. So I'm guessing it's just going to range you up until 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Then you're probably gonna see a massive spike for NFP liquidity grab. It's like daylight robbery basically. I think that's what's gonna happen there. It looks like that type of day. So man, you gotta be real careful here. To get any kind of like really good runners, I don't think it's gonna be coming at the highs. It's most likely just gonna be coming there at the lows as price retraces down. Dude, there's literally people getting 1 million payouts, man. Just keep telling yourself that, Simon. The truth, you know, that nobody wants to hear the truth. You know, also for me, when I saw trading, I didn't like when people would like said stuff like, you know, when I really believed or wanted to believe something, I would always kind of like block it off and try and rationalize it as much as possible. But yeah, anyway, you know, it's gonna be okay. If they're making 1 million payouts, awesome. Very good. You should also be making 1 million payouts soon. Mr. Anderson. You will be making your millions of payouts as well, sir. I believe in you. I believe in you. But you know, no one can ever take away from you knowledge. That's one thing no one ever gonna take away. You can speculate all you want about people's lifestyles and, you know, how people afford things and about their payouts and their bank balances, you know, but you're never gonna know. You never know 100%. Even these people you're seeing who are withdrawing millions of dollars, you're never gonna know 100%, Simon. You're never gonna know because you don't know them. You don't know them, but you know, you can never get away from you knowledge. Knowledge can never be taken away from you. And that's real. That's solid. You know, a lot of the speculation, man, I had to stop a lot of that speculation. Because if I was going to speculate, man, I would still be where I was in 2020 right now. If I was still watching these videos and thinking to myself, man, FX Alex G, he just did 300 to 1 million. I'll get there one day. Oh, this guy is doing this millions of dollars in payouts. Maybe I'm going to get lucky. Man, I would still be the same brokey in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, this is just why I'm sharing you here on this stream. I just want things to be a bit unfiltered because no one told me this stuff when I started trading. I had to figure it out the hard way because no one speaks about this stuff. You know, a lot of the time people are just looking out for themselves. But yeah, I think, you know, it's pretty good mental model to have. That's kind of what's made me avoid a lot of dumb mistakes as well. And when you start making money from trading, you start trying to invest in other areas in your life that you don't know much about. It saved me from a lot of money, a lot of losing money on dumb shit. Because now I'm a little bit more, you know, careful about things. You know, when I see something, I'm gonna look for education always. I'm gonna say, okay, if I'm getting real estate, this deal over here, you know, it sounds pretty good, but let me just read about this. Let me look about this. Let me study about this, and then try and like slowly get into it like that, you know. But I don't jump head in first anymore. That's one thing I've learned about in trading when I was doing my funded programs. I jumped in head first with them, and I ended up just giving away money, just basically donating money. Yeah, so it's okay. Let me not rant here. Let's go on. Gold holds above $5,000 as US data bolsters case for rate cuts. Gold rose modestly, consolidating gains about $5,000 an ounce after weak retail sales in the US supported the case for the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. Prices, metal surged. Consumer spending unexpectedly stalled in December, setting the scene for a delayed and highly anticipated January job report on Wednesday. Yeah, that's just a red folder week, chat. Like, that's basically it. Gold firms on US rate cut bets. Okay, this is actually good though. Gold firmed on 50.40 per ounce on Wednesday, staying near almost 2-week high, supported by expectations of a more accommodative Federal Reserve. The move followed soft US data as December retail sales fell short of forecasts, signaling a slowdown in consumer spending and reinforcing concerns about slowing growth. It's good. I mean, that's kind of giving us some sort of a catalyst here for gold. That gold can keep moving up now that we're getting a sort of confidence that the rate cuts are going to be coming in as the numbers are coming out. Investors are now watching upcoming US jobs and inflation reports for further clues on the economy's trajectory and potential Fed policy moves. So geopolitical risk also continued to lift prices as markets monitored lingering tensions between US and Iran, despite positive initial talks last week. Oh, very good. That is also going to be looking good for gold. So we definitely have a few catalysts here of why price can continue to move up today. Don't you waste no time. That cat volume. Yes, sir. I was actually quite happy to get a good signal here because I knew if we don't get like a pullback, it will start looking real tricky. You know, like it's good we got the pullback. We got the pullback towards that same area that was here. We just came down towards that same zone. Hey, good morning, Joshua. Like we're flirting with on NQ, we're flirting with 25,134 over here. So if it starts breaking below it, then you know it's probably gonna come down. But right now, it does definitely need to go through this level over here. Hey, Joshua Woods, what happened to you yesterday? You have been knighted with the shield to protect House TFX. I see YouTube give like an update here, so the mod's got a shield. Use that shield to protect the wall. Protect the wall from the night walkers. We got plenty of night walkers here. Protect us, young Sir Woods and Sir Architect. Gotta keep the walls up. And after, we go to the tavern to celebrate. Yeah, we got a wall here by 50-50. This is going to be the wall here for price right now. That's the closest thing to a psychological mark that we're going to get. 50-50. I knew Architect was talking shit. I don't know what it is that I read yesterday. You said Architect said you got in a car crash. I had a migraine. I also had no internet and traveling across China right now. So spent the day tidying and packing. Oh, sorry, man. Get better. You know what you gotta take. I used to also have like not migraines, but a lot of like headaches, and I would end up taking a lot of paracetamol. But I found like what kind of been helping is valerian. So if you're gonna take like a valerian before bed, basically that helps you with also. Oh damn! Look at this. It helps you with sleep. It helps you with a lot of these like pressure. I guess some kind of like a pressure that's creating those headaches. Because when I started taking valerian before bed, like take it for a few days, and I don't get the headaches anymore. And a migraine is just like a stronger headache. It kind of like, I think it calms your nervous systems down. Because it also helps with things like anxiety too. And it's natural. It's traditional medicine as well. It just comes from a flower. But ever since I've been taking that thing, I feel pretty good. It's either you take a few drops or a tablet before bed, but it smells really bad. But you know what like typically smells bad for you is really good when it comes to traditional medicine. So yeah, get yourself some valerian, sir. Gotta sleep like a baby. I think traders need valerian because a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress in the market, a lot of uncertainty. This kind of calms you down, I guess. My heart can't take it anymore. I closed first trade bouncing from the same zone. The swing trade's not for me. Oh, this can be the grab to try and move up again. Let's see how the 5 closes. Yeah, swing trades are gonna contribute as well to a lot of that stress, like especially when price starts to move down, you got a big stop loss. Well, why are you trying to swing trade on NFP day? Very risky. Oh, last night. Where were you at? Oh, so you should be still in profit then, right? Or the swing trades offer can be the grab to move down. Oh, you must have got in early, yeah. I wonder if it's gonna come mitigate. Like if it's gonna move up later on anyway. The question is whether it's going to mitigate like some areas here from those early traders before starting to move up again. Just like how we see it on our entry models, like how it likes to come and retest, like even this morning. It likes to come and retest that high volume area and then move in that direction. Because ideally we would have liked to see like respect here so you can at least be at break even wherever you are at. Then you have just like a risk free. Then the worst part of it doesn't move too far away because if your entries are like somewhere here and then a piece coming out, still that spike can still get you. Yeah, so we'll see. Now you're gonna get a liquidity spike. That's what I was kind of waiting for. We haven't yet seen any like really aggressive liquidity spikes yet. maybe this could be it. Maybe we can see volatility here. It spikes a bit below. Starts pulling back up. See, US 100 is still rejecting support here by 25,133. Still respect. This is going to be the crucial area for price to get below. They just got like a bounce off of that mark. Little consolidation break there too. US 100. So if you're trading US 100, you got to look and see what can be the next possible move that you can continue to take, maybe like a potential sell here. So because like price is moving up here, it's already given one TFX confirmation. I see it's in distribution, but you can wait for another TFX confirmation. Maybe if price comes up, test this zone, creates that structure, and then to give an entry confirmation to come down again towards like 25,130 over there. That's going to be a potential. They're going to be like a shotgun play or maybe like a console breakout. The one of those two things. Could even be a market fade. But I don't know if the market is moving strong enough for a market fade. It's not giving much confidence. Because right now it's like a doji. They look at the daily. Still like a doji. There's a lot of indecision in the market we've been seeing of late. Like this week so far. Today was actually quite nice. At least today on gold, we were moving. You know, like yesterday, we didn't move at all on gold. So that's why, you know, we didn't take a trade yesterday. And if you look at the price action yesterday, this is why we didn't take a trade. This is all. The only place that I took a trade, guess what, was right over here. Right over here. The only move that we saw, we took a sell over here. This is the only place I took a trade yesterday. But we managed to effectively avoid this whole area. Because there was also another zone here. I was very tempted to take a sell. You know, very tempted, but you could see the PA was not the greatest. So we just consolidated, then came back later, and then I managed to take my sell here. So you see, like, patience. Patience pays. Yeah, you can avoid like all of those whips. Unnecessary whips, and then you can just get the trade that you're meant to get. Patience and consistency. Consistent approach to the market. We broke 50-50. There's a lot of speed bumps to go to the downside here too. You got like a support here. You got another support here. Let's see, this range is about 64 pips. So kind of have to get through like this next support area. Price wants to move down. You also got that 8 SMA holding up price. Very difficult. Like, it's still a lot more challenging for it to move down than it is for it to move up, because we're still bullish 0.50%. You see massive liquidity grab. This is the one I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for like some kind of big liquidity grab of sorts, but you can see we have them across the board. We also had what, like, I don't know if that's liquidity grab. I feel like that just played out, and that's like profit taking because it hit the resistance to the confirmation. But in a sense, it also looks like those liquidity grabbish handled like right here. I also got one right here, pretty long wick. You see it's like flipping back about 50-50. Buyers are still trying to hold 50-50. It's been kind of the areas you can see that we've been tapping into a few times here, because beyond this there's nothing too appetizing beyond 50-50. Made a reach for 50-70. Price pull back down. US 100 could be either way, because if this daily starts to flip and then break the lows, I expect like the rest of the day, especially New York session, to keep moving down. But if we create a support, definitely a lot more heavy lifting that it has to do, especially beyond that resistance. That's a daily resistance right over here. But once you get through that daily resistance, US 100, this is what would have liked to see for the week up ahead for people trading US 100s, like something get a bit more clean price action over here. If candlesticks close above and then just continue to move up like this. For today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Bullish trend. Otherwise, markets have just been consolidating since Monday. We only had this big push. Tuesday pull down. Wednesday, we're still kind of waiting here in the middle of the week. So we haven't yet really had much of a movement. Correct? And if you go look at gold as well, gold is pretty much more or less the same thing. We had that Monday push up, just like here, Monday push up. Tuesday resistance, Tuesday resistance. Wednesday, doji candle, anticipating of the news. Doji candle, participating on news for the NFP now. So I think like after today, maybe you're going to see like Thursday, Friday are going to have a bit more straightforward price action towards the end of the week over here. So man, if you made it this far so far and you've been surviving this week, you know, amazing. It's not been the easiest week to trade whatsoever, you know, so really good. What's my NFP prediction? I think like gold can move bearish because that's the sentiment. They're expecting that price here is going to increase from 50 to 66k, right? So the forecast is good for the currency, which means it should be bad technically for gold. But you know, like we're gonna see, you're gonna get maybe even a revised. The 50k could even get revised. The last NFP got revised from 56 to 64, and then we got an actual of 50. So, you know, the forecast became below, but it can always get revised. That's the thing about these red folder events. You never really know, right? Unless you do some due diligence about it, and unless it's maybe an event. For me, I always look at retail sales. The first retail sales of every year at the beginning of the year should come out poor because people spend all their money during Christmas, right? So those kind of events are a little bit more straightforward in that sense, because obviously it ties in with also the way people are spending. I think it's retail sales or consumer spending. I can't remember which folder it is, but those types of things are a little bit better. You can do a bit more due diligence on, but something like NFP, you know, I feel like you just waste a lot of time and resources to figure out what their direction is going to be, you know. It's a lot more effort for something that everybody waits for. Like even people who trade like hedge funds and whatnot, they're all kind of like waiting for these numbers. In theory, they should not know what these numbers are going to be. So everybody kind of just waiting for it. You know what I mean? But I think some companies liaise with each other and they're able to get the data slightly beforehand, or they have like a really fast data, like they get the numbers really fast before it affects the markets. So that's the kind of way I think like institutions do it. They're either gonna liaise with somebody because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna talk to people, or it's just technology which helps them get like really fast, so they're able to get in positions quickly. But man, this is like difficult. This is so difficult. Just pick a direction and full port. That's what I would say. That's my advice. And go with the sentiments most of the time. So if we're expecting good numbers for the dollar, just take a sell. 10 seconds before the NFP releases, always 10 seconds, so you don't get like a shitty entry. You don't want to get in too early, because you get in too early sometimes it starts putting you in drawdown. So like shortly before the NFP opens, 10 seconds, just full port that thing. Like put your account, your stop loss, wherever it needs to be, just full port it like this 10 seconds before NFP comes out. That's all that you got to do. It's just gambling. You put a buy stop, sell stop, you know, sometimes those can both get triggered in. You got issues with spreads. The spreads widen like crazy. There's a lot of things that go against you. But yeah, if you got like $100, like a spare $100 lying around or whatever, you know, just have some fun. You know, just have some fun. That's all those things are for. Like Logan Paul literally bet like $1 million in poly markets the other day, because that guy is worth so much money. For him, he was just like, he just put like $1 million in poly markets and then he just sent it off. You know, that's all that it is. People with money, they're gonna do that. They're gonna go casino. They're gonna gamble 50k, 100k, 500k, whatever, how much, because they have like a lot of it. If you don't have a lot of it, you shouldn't be doing that dumb shit. You should be taking your time, taking the best possible setups. If you're not rich like that, You know, if you don't just have money lying around, what are you doing trading the NFP? Because there's nothing, you're not going to get rich quick, my friend. Getting rich quick, you know, it's you want to get rich slow. You want to get rich slow. You want to get rich with some kind of a knowledge, you know, not some luck. But man, if you got like fun coupons lying around, that's how I would do it. Like 10 seconds before, full port that thing. So if you blow the account, whatever. It's better than gambling still. It's still better odds than gambling. It's better than going to the casino. Because with the casino, you truly don't know. Right? You truly don't know. But with events like this, you can kind of get like a sentiment. It's still, you get better odds than a casino. You gotta get some sentiments over here. You can dig into it a bit as well. Read the fundamentals. We have to revise our expectations. White House downplays coming jobs reports. They're downplaying the reports. For one would appreciate a weaker dollar. I'm holding some yen. I would like to dump. Maybe the Japanese. See how to engineer a short squeeze. Much anticipated little market update isn't due out until Wednesday morning, but the White House is already working to temper expectations. So you see, we're expecting good numbers, but you see, you got Trump over here say we have to revise our expectations. I think, oh, whoever said this. But members of the President Trump's team have offered multiple warnings that employment gains may disappoint Wall Street and have tried to downplay what miss might indicate about the state of the US economy. Okay, so that's people close to Trump are saying this. The sentiments are saying that the numbers should be good. So now it got us thinking over here. It got us thinking that why should we think that the dollar should go up then? If even the members of Trump's team are telling you to downplay your expectations. You should expect slightly smaller job numbers. But he said the results may not be a sign of broader trouble. Okay. Today's main focus, US January payrolls. While headline job focus to pick up, recent indicators suggest the US labor market remains largely stagnant. I think actually, you know, it could be the case that the US market is not doing well anyway. So, I mean, gold probably might just move up. We might just have the opposite of what the sentiments are. Especially like as we're reading these things over here and people are saying to downplay the expectations. Maybe we're just gonna have like bad numbers for the dollar. So probably take a buy instead. Go against the sentiment. See, will it be a red day or a green day? One thing's for sure, it wouldn't be a Kid Rock underage girls day. Another high school girl writing articles about topics she knows nothing about. Yahoo and Finance are two words that should never be put together. Pathetic sight. Yahoo Finance. I think the first time I ever saw a chart was on Yahoo Finance. On the homepage over there. Back when Yahoo was like the Google, the main page. Do people still, does Yahoo still exist? Yahoo.com. It probably does. Yeah. Here we go, Yahoo Finance. Ooh, that looks kind of nice. Super Bowl of job reports is on deck. Looks clean. Looks very clean. We have to revise our expectations. He's the one here at the top with the image of Trump. That's the main thing for the NFP today. See everybody waiting for the NFP here. Oh, nice.
And payrolls numbers on deck here with what investors can expect and what it could mean for the Fed. Our very own Jennifer Schonberger. Jen.
Hey there, Josh. We will get the January jobs report on Wednesday. That was delayed from Friday because we had that partial government shutdown that sort of pushed things back a couple of days. Expectations are for an increase of 70,000 on payrolls, with the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.4%. Now, the big question is going to be, where are those job gains coming from? Will we again see those gains coming from healthcare and social assistance, which would speak to perhaps some weakness in the job market? Now, it is the January jobs report in which we typically get these benchmark revisions. That is that we're going to get revisions to the data that was released in 2025, and the expectation is to show weaker job growth. We already know that we would get revisions after monthly numbers that showed a downgrade. So we could see even further weakness, but that will be in the rearview mirror for 2025. The bigger question is, of course, what is happening going forward this year? Now, we are also going to be getting some key inflation data that was also pushed back because of that partial government shutdown. We're going to get the consumer price index, a reading on that for January on Friday. Expectations there for 2.5% increase, both the headline and the core that adjusts for those volatile food and energy prices. Month over month, core seen inching up 0.2%. If we were to get that, that would be welcome news. However, the whispers on Wall Street are that they expect that number to come in perhaps a bit hot because in recent Januaries, we have seen just that happen. Perhaps it's partly because of the calculation, but questions this January will also come from if it does come in hotter than expected. Actually. Are we seeing an increase because of tariffs from the president? It is typically the month of January that firms look to reset prices, and that is something that the Federal Reserve is watching very closely. Josh.
And Jen, while we got you, so polymarket traders,
they're currently
betting, Jen, on an 85% chance the Fed will hold rates steady at the next meeting. Could the data we get this week
most likely holding
that could impact that view?
That's a nice one-to-one risk reward.
I think they have it right, Josh, because the one thing that Fed officials are focused on right now
that's an easy one-to-one risk reward chat
and is
on
there going
Polymarkets.
to be further deterioration in the job market? You get a payroll number of 70,000, even if it is coming mostly from healthcare and social assistance, with the unemployment rate holding at 4.4%. I think officials are going to think that there are signs that the job market is stabilizing. Remember, they did 3 rate cuts, insurance cuts, if you will, at the tail end of last year. So they're going to be waiting for those.
I remember like 2.
Monetary policy operates with a lag effect. So we're going to be waiting on those to sort of kick in. So if those numbers come in line, don't see the Fed cutting. They're probably likely to hold steady. Now, on the inflation front, I think they're going to be more focused there on that number because if that comes in hotter than expected, all the more reason to hold. If it does come in at 2.5%, that is going to be welcome news for them. The question, though, is there a trend that we're seeing? They need to see a decisive...
Yeah, light work on that Polymarkets bet. Most probably going to come out at 101. Damn, Yahoo Finance is actually pretty nice. Just hadn't looked at this website in ages. Pan-African resources expect interim earnings boosts on higher volumes and gold prices. Gold holds above $5,000 as U.S. data blusters case for rate cuts. Gold silver climb as U.S. yields fall and softer retail sales. Let's see, a wobbling U.S. jobs market was the Federal Reserve's biggest worry last fall. Now the focus appears to have shifted back to stubborn inflation. Investors will get twin reports this week of employment and consumer prices that help set the stage for the Fed cuts interest rates this year. I think definitely today we are gonna see some fireworks. So you know, you just gotta grab your popcorns and just get ready for those fireworks there. That's gonna be around like 8:30. Instead of trading, just grab your popcorn and you gotta watch people. Watch people gonna have like maybe some manipulation. What's your view on Shark Funded? Because I just passed it and sent a request of a payout, but it's been 3 hours and still pending. Just give it time, you know. 3 hours is still quite early. If they have a live chat, look for a live chat. Sometimes when you talk to that automated bot, just ask it to talk to somebody. And then maybe you're gonna see, they're gonna tell you how fast the payout should be. But I've never heard of Shark Funded. US 100 is better than GJ at the moment. Yeah, I think so. GJ has been moving as well pretty good. If you go on the GJ chart, the last time I saw it, it's been swinging. Look at this. Look at these moves on GJ. GJ's been actually quite nice as well. It's a bit more of a steeper price action, isn't it? Like it feels more. Look at this. Look at GJ, man. Look at how good GJ is. It feels a lot more bigger waves. Like look at these pullbacks. Look at these V-shaped reversals. But it's still, I think on GJ that would be. This would be 10 pips. Oh, that would be 140 pips. Yeah, like the swings look a lot nicer. A lot nicer. Look at that. Look at that. Man, the pound is taking a beating right now. It's down 0.40%. It just looks like it's been tumbling. And this is what we like to see. You're going to make money here in these conditions. When price is moving so aggressively like this. You know, so a US 100 is kind of slow. You see, there's not much decision in the market. It's still kind of waiting, it feels. That's the vibe that I get from it. Whereas GJ is on the move. On NAS, it's coming down. See, first trade of the day, took confirmations down, but didn't enter again. On NAS, it's coming down. Oh, he took the NAS sell. Let's see. Yeah, probably it looks more bearish. Just from that image as well. Oh, we gotta see like what the reason is behind the trade. If you go on the 5 minutes, a 5-minute time frame, it seems. It's like a shotgun play. It's not very clean. You got like a doji candle right there. So it's not like a very clean support to actually break through. You do have a few rejection wicks. Man, it would be nice if candle could actually create a support, like something a bit more solid first, like this. Maybe there's something on the 1 minute that I haven't seen yet. But it would be nice to get like a support and like one more rejection of these highs. But let's see what's going on here on the 1 minute. 1 minute still not set up. 1 minute will have to break through at least like 25 162 area over there. You can manage closely using order flow. Okay, you can manage closely because ideally I think it's a situation like this, either get like that support to be formed and then break the lows, or at least for that area here to get broken by 25 162. So if you're already in, it'll be nice to really see if price can get through that level. So just like operate a bit cautiously. Because at least once it triggers there, at least you're in, right? At least it's triggered, even if it starts to pull back up. At least at that point you even have a better entry, but you know it's confirmed, like some kind of a direction. Or even a break of these lows here by 25,164, because now it's setting up like a preliminary type of foundation that it can start moving away from. Because on the 5-minute, it can definitely do with a bit more structure. There's about like 25 more seconds. It would be actually nice for that 5-minute to close bullish. But if that's the case on the 1 minute, it's creating that preliminary PA that it can have at least something to go through. But it seems even this candle that was supposed to create the support is still bearish. About like 8 seconds. So it's going to close here in about 5 seconds. Alright, it's closing bearish still. And just gapped up, gapped down a bit more. Trust me, like we just got to get through 25,162. And you're going to see some pressure come in. Oh, but it's good that you're already in if it does happen. Come on, come down. I want to see this thing come down too. Just need a break. That's the freaking problem here, is that there's no structure. So we just want to see if it's going to move, like let it just move on these minute candles. Let it at least break below 25,162. That's the only thing for me that's a bit up in the air right now, is that we haven't got any structure, especially because of this inconsistency right here on that doji. Especially because of that. Let's see, it's coming down. It's gonna break. Yes, nice, it broke. All right, good. At least it broke. It broke now, so it's good. You at least get it. It confirmed a bit of the momentum. Now it's on the way down, as you can see over here. US 100 is slow, chat. Like this move was only about 3 pips. On gold, this would have already been how many pips on gold? It needs to move. It needs to move all the way down here. It needs to move all the way down here for 10 pips. That'll be like 30 pips on gold. This thing is too slow, man. Very slow compared to gold. Yeah, it's so slow. You know, that's what I don't like about it, because the thing I hate about markets are these like pullbacks and these kind of like sharp reactions. You know, I don't like that, because that's just an additional variable now that you gotta like deal with, you know, like sharpness, pullbacks, you sitting in trades for too long. You're always giving yourself, the market, more opportunity to start to go against trades. That's why I don't like certain markets like this. See, like something like gold, this will be more forgiving, right? You probably get like 16 pips. Maybe that'll be like 20, 16 pips. Some of the sort. Pretty decent moves. Quick 1% moves. This is pretty small, you know. Like, what is that? The break of the low is like 3 pips. Come on, man. But we'll do some NQ analysis over here, because people still want to lose money on it. So, you know, we're going to do some analysis here. We'll see what else that price can do on NQ right now. Because that was a fat rejection, eh? That's like a liquidity spike right here after I took out the lows. How's MT5 trading yet? Oh, it's pretty nice. It's so smooth. It just does what it's meant to do, you know? It does exactly what it was designed to do. So it's perfect. C-Trader's got so many bells and whistles and updates to new things that are just unnecessary. And I really miss the interface as well, especially on the phone. So nice on the phone. So nice. Actually, that MetaTrader terminal, it kind of like motivates me even more, especially on the phone, when you see how the positions look like on the phone compared to how it looks like on C-Trader. It looks older on the MetaTrader, but it just looks perfect. He'll come around eventually. Yeah, but still, doing analysis on MetaTrader is a different topic though. Doing analysis is not fun on MetaTrader. You got like nice MT5 screenshots over here. Those also look quite clean. I like the screenshots of MetaTrader as well. Dude, you took the exact same trade I took this morning. Is it the same? Yeah, it is the same trade. Wow, that's crazy. It's almost like you're in the room with me here. Thank you. Thank you for the advice, bro. Okay, nice. Yeah, Kevja's doing pretty well over here. 11:38. 11:38 your time. Happening at the same time. Look at this, says like 11:48 over here. Yeah, when you're consistent, you start to see these. It's actually good that you're seeing that. It should look kind of similar, right? The timings should be roughly like close. Ideally, they should be close to each other. They shouldn't be too like overly spread out and stuff, like, especially during the time that you're trading each session. It should be closer to each other. That's what I just call like maybe a healthy market, when you're getting it when you should be getting it, not having to wait for too long. Like, you see, that's why yesterday's stream, like, we didn't take a trade yesterday's stream and we had to wait the whole time, because there was just like really nothing for what I was looking for. Now it's pretty nice. Very well done. Yeah, we got US 100 here. It's still NAS NQ is still trying to pull up. It just did like small liquidity grab towards the lows, I suppose. The daily time frame is 0.06%. How big was this push so far? It's just done about like 10 pips. I guess on something like US 100, your target would be like 10 pips, right? Ideally, that's when you'd want to start looking at managing a trade, maybe like a break even or even a 1-to-1, probably by that 10 pip mark, because that would already be a pretty big move. I'll be like 30 pips on gold. But that guy caught I don't know how much he caught, Fabio, on that podcast. How many pips it was? We could find out, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that we gotta do. Price coming down below 50.50 now on gold spot. Starting to like sellers are starting to take over that area. I think 50.50 was a small breakout. It's currently in a distribution actually. Very nice setup that is from this area right over here. So let's actually draw this. We got RH. We got RL. Range high, range low. So it's coming and it's distributing from this section right here and it's heading down. Especially it's nice because entry confirmation came in at 50.50. Yeah, entry confirmation came in at 50.50. So right by that psychological mark as well. 50.50. So it just has an additional confluence. You see, like when it started even breaking over here, broke pretty nicely. Nice. That would be like 10 pips on NQ. So that's like 30 pips here now on gold. Beautiful little push off that mark. Drawdown, very minimal to zero drawdown. Depending on how it broke, if it created the top wick first then broke. I think drawdown was about like 3 pips. 3 pip drawdown, then 30 pip move to the downside. Very nice. So that's why I love gold. It's very intentional. It's like it's the gold is the type of person who's gonna tell you like the way it is, you know. It's not gonna sugarcoat anything, or it's not gonna waste your time. Most of the time it's gonna just tell you what it is. whether you like it or not. That's why people are afraid of gold, because it's the same thing that people don't like to hear the truth. You know, it makes them uncomfortable. So a lot of time people also get uncomfortable with gold. People don't like, they're really uncomfortable with gold, right? Because gold is the guy in the room, like, who's gonna say what's on his mind, and is gonna tell you what he thinks about you. So if you got like a shitty trade, he's gonna tell you, man, you got a shitty trade, and it's gonna let you know. It's gonna give you a whip and tell you try again. But it's nice because it builds your character quickly, right? You start actually seeing how you should be reading gold, and those are the people who help you progress in life. The ones who tell you the way it is, not the ones who are gonna sugarcoat it and feed you delusions and tell you, oh, you know, you're gonna be able to do all of this and that. Man, the people gonna make you move are the people gonna tell you like some kind of truth of what they think. So if you know you got a buddy and he wants to get into business and he has all these business ideas, instead of telling him, oh yeah, you can got this, you know, I can see that you can do this as well, you're gonna be successful doing it, tell him, what are you doing right now? It's amazing you're telling me all of this stuff, but have you done anything? You know, have you made the right steps to that direction? Like, what are you actively doing besides telling me what you were planning on doing? What have you already done? You know, then you're gonna start to put them on the spot. Then they're gonna think, oh damn. You know, I've had that conversation many times with people, and you always see a bit of fear in their eyes. It's like they want to do it, but they don't really know. So they get like a mental masturbation from telling you about what they want to do. Then you put them on the spot and say, what have you done? What are you planning on doing? What's the game plan? Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to say? How are you going to present it? How are you going to find the contacts? What are you going to do? You want to start funding? How are you going to get it? You put them on the spot like that. Then you truly see what a man is made of. With their ability to execute on ideas, you truly see what a man is made of. Because most of the time, people are going to waste your time. A lot of wishful thinking. A lot of, oh, he's done it. This looks so possible. But they're not doing anything. You know? It's that wishful thinking that kills a lot of people's dreams and momentum. But it's something you just got to execute, man. You got, just like you see on stream here today. We got an idea. We know what our idea of the trade is going to be. We took it. That's it. No second guessing. I give 2 shits if there's one person watching me right now. I give 2 shits. I'm not going to wait for the stream to fill up so these latecomers here can look at the trade. No, we're going to see the trade. We're going to take the trade. Because, you know, they say early bird catches the worm. We're going to catch the trade when we see the trade. Simple. We can't wait. Time waits for no one. For no man. Doesn't matter who you are. Time waits for no man. So every day you come in exactly when you should be coming in, not a minute later. Because even if you come in a minute later, that's as good as just being late. You know, so that's what I think I like about when I was living in Germany. In Germany, everything is on time. You know, so if you're on time, you're late. If you say you're going to meet at 7 and you come at 7, you're already late. You got to be there before 7. You know, that's how you're going to miss the bus. If you're not there, it's gone. Bus driver sees there's nobody waiting. He doesn't even wait. He just goes. That's a capitalistic society right there. And this is a capitalistic endeavor. You know, don't get it twisted. You're not going to come here, puff, pass, drink a little bit of alcohol and chill. Man, this is not the place for that. You got to be on time. You got to get the work done. You got to follow your rules. Man, traders who are going to be smoking weed and trading, those are not serious people. Those people are just, they're very unserious people. You cannot be Snoop Dogg in the financial markets. You have to be locked in. It will require all of your brain cells to make the right move, to make sure you're executing with confidence. I've never, even in my profitability, I have never traded drunk or under any sort of substance. Never. The only time I did that when I was a dumb shit trader. When I was a novice trader, then I would maybe, you know, when I drink a little bit, drink a bit of wine, chill. I only used to do that dumb shit when I was a new trader. But I've never once in my life done any of that stuff when I found consistency. Because, you know, there's a difference. You got to know the difference between running a business and having a hobby. You know, for a lot of you, maybe this is just a hobby. I want to do a funded program. Maybe I'm going to get lucky. Maybe I can get a payout. That's a hobby. That's a hobby. That's a side hustle. So you got a skill that can maybe get you a payout. So that's a side hustle. So you still got a 9 to 5, but you have a chance that maybe you're going to get a funded and a payout. you know, but it's not yet a business, and it's never gonna be a business for you until you seek the right education. That's what you gotta like come to terms with right now if you're still debating on whether, you know, prop firms are the way to go. Just so you know the difference. If you don't have the data, all a prop firm is a side hustle for you to get more money. That's it. And if you're okay with that idea, then perfect. But just make sure that you still have that main income, that salary is still coming in. If that's the route that you want to take, make sure that salary is still coming in. Because otherwise then it's going to be like very, very risky if you don't have savings. That's going to be my advice for people. But if you wanna have like longevity in this game, if you wanna have a good P&L, a good career, then you have to start making career moves. But if you're on short-term games, then you gotta make short-term moves. It's a big difference, you know. Like if you wanna buy a house in the next 5 years, maybe you could make a short-term move of investing in, and this is not investment advice, but you know, what do you call them? Like those money markets which promise you maybe like 15% annual returns and that sort of thing. Like they can give you high returns, but they're a little bit more risky. This thing that regular people invest in. I forgot what the name is, but those are really good for like 5-year plans. Short-term goals. Those funds. That's like for regular people. For traders, we kind of get like other options. Obviously, we can get funded. The growth in trading itself is quite exponential. But you see, most people don't know how to trade, so they're gonna use like the thing most people are gonna use like funds. Gone funds which promise them like 13% a year, because the banks don't give you really good return on investment, maybe like 5%. Plus inflation, you gotta account for the inflation of your country. It's gonna reduce the percentage gains a bit more, which is basically gonna be nothing in the end if you're not going with a fund which gives like 13-15%. That's for normal people. But yeah, trading is super exponential though. But the thing is, you gotta learn the skill though. That's the thing. That's the only thing. You see, it always comes down to knowledge. Even if you do an exponential growth on a funded program, you still kind of need the knowledge to avoid unnecessary losses. Because see, like the market conditions right now are not the most optimum for just getting lucky in that environment. This is typically when the funded program is actually going to make a lot of money here, especially in these conditions. Because they know the people who are trading there, they're not educated. Most of them are not educated, so they're going to lose a lot more money in these situations. There's only a select few who know how to operate in those types of environments. And those are the ones that deny the payouts most of the time, or it's easier to deal with just a few people because those go unnoticed most of the time than it is to deal with a lot more people who are going to complain. So that's why I don't trade funded programs. That's why I can't rinse funded programs. It'll just be wasting time. They wouldn't accept my payouts. Because the business model is not designed for educated traders. It's designed for uneducated traders. And that's just the reality of it. It's not a popular opinion, but you're not going to find a lot of popular opinions on this channel. That's for sure. This is a channel you go to get away from the popular opinions. Because the popular opinions are not helping you. They're still keeping you in the same position you've been. But this thing is should be setting up over here soon. If it creates a resistance, it would be nice for a break maybe about the high over here. It just did a distribution. So what we're looking at here is psychological mark by 50-50. It just did like a little fake out, a little bit of liquidity grab. Can you change the color in this thing? Go like blue. No. Yeah, we just had like a liquidity grab here. Got range high, range low. And now it's even forming a potential inverted head and shoulder. You got like left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. Volume should be coming in, I suppose, from this area. Would be nice if it actually set like a resistance here and then rebroke the highs for a push to the upside. That would be like an ideal situation. Right now it seems like it's already breaking, but it's probably going for around like 50, like that 50-55 mark over there. So it'll be much safer to get it like here and then get the break. It's like still setting up. This candlestick is still open. But yeah, this is the area that it's currently trading in. So in a way that you can try and like block off, or what I like to do is I'll typically try and block this off right over here, so I can narrow in my focus on what's happening at this very moment. Especially because, you know, we're going to be trading here the 1 minute time frame. So we're going to look and see what's currently happening here. So you see, you're kind of like zoned in. It's like that book, Trading in the Zone. You're kind of zoned into what's in this very moment. All right, that's how we kind of look at it. Because when you're going to trade like a higher time frame, or like a lower time frame, these candles can create a lot of noise for you. So you have to be very specific about what you're looking and what are those like unique scenarios that are happening. So, you know, you kind of trade in the zone here and you see what are these unique scenarios that are happening that may lead to this trade breaking these highs by 50-56 to lead to some kind of a distribution to the upside. So you keep in mind the higher time frame and how the HTF looks like. Like for example, we have this 50-50 mark that we spiked below. It's a higher time frame rejection zone on the left hand side, and then putting that in confluence as to how to get into the position now, like a refined entry on the 1 minute. Then you kind of have that confidence as you're coming into your execution, because now you kind of know your HTF levels and you're now focusing more on LTF for proper execution and confirmation. So LTF is like a very nice time frame for now that momentum or direction confirmation once it starts breaking key wicks. All in long. Nice. Had to buy against my will. Knowledge is power. Yes sir, Wayne. How important is journaling in your opinion? Pretty damn important. Always gotta have to look and see what you can improve every day. Journaling is so important. Like not just in trading, but every aspect of your life. Journal. Whatever it is that you do, it's a good habit to have. It helps you level up, because if you don't write it down, you kind of like forget. You know, sometimes you can forget. So it'd be nice to have things written down always when you're trying to get better at something. So you can just build upon that, because it gets you to one level. And as you progress, you can allow yourself to get to the next level and you can see the progress. So yeah, you can't go without journaling unless you have like a very, very good memory. You trust yourself really well, then okay. But I think I think for me personally, I don't trust myself. If I set myself a reminder that I'm going to do something today, I have to set it on my phone. I don't trust myself that I'm going to remember that. You know what I mean? Journaling is important. Even like if you look at musicians are always journaling. They either going to have the phone or something, but they're always going to write down the lyric or they're going to record the beat, because otherwise you kind of like lose it. And you don't want to lose it, because you know when you get that gem that you learned today, you don't want to lose the gem. You got to protect that gem. So journaling actually locks it in basically, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because you know, sometimes you get the gem and you forgot that you got the gem and now you're still in the same spot. It's going to take you a while to remember that again or have that same experience. It leads to wasting a lot of time. Account history is enough journal. Once you're profitable, once you've mastered the field that you're in, yeah, I mean, it's good. You've basically got to the end, right? So there's not much more you can journal and really learn from. Just to keep tabs of the day-to-day progress and how you're moving forward. But when you're still new to whatever you're trying to do, you have to journal until your capacity is full. Until you've got your system in place of how you're going to do things. You know, and even as much as you want to try and learn something new, it doesn't make sense because it's already full. All right, so then account history is perfect. Just making sure that you're getting the same results based off of what you've done here. But if you're not getting the same results, it's not that you got to go back and change something necessarily, but just be kind of mindful of what you can adapt to or what the certain situation is. Like for us, the main thing was adapting to London session daily bias. That's just a small tweak that we made. So it's still the same entries, but we're just doing it only with the daily bias during the London session. It's the safest approach from what we saw was happening over and over again. That was not going to be the safest trade to go counter bias during a London session. And ever since then, like, it's just been a lot more smoother. And it's also never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing to just go with a daily time frame. Regardless of even the London session, it's never a bad thing. It's always a thing that is supported by a majority of people anyway, is to trade with the trend. So as you can see, like for today, price is moving up on gold. So you're going to be more supported that you're going to take buys on gold. You see, it's still kind of holding this accumulation zone over here. So price is not moved anywhere. So the probability is at 50-50 right now. We got 50-50 probability that price is going to either go like bearish or bullish. But because of this main liquidity grab down over here, ideally it should move bullish. But man, if you look at the 5 minute, the 5 minute looks nasty. Especially on my terminal over here, the 5 minute looks so nasty. But you see, in that mess, you can still catch something off the lower time frame. Right? There's a clean range on the 5 minute there too. Like if it breaks above, it just needs to get above this zone. We got like a tiny clean range to keep moving up over here. That's gonna be around 30 pips. Just the same way we got that trade. We had nice clean range. It was about also 30 pips, 35 pips towards resistance. 35 pips towards resistance. You see, it's a very choppy condition, correct? Like, look at how choppy this is. So you got to be very careful when trading this condition because you want to see price actually break above it. 50-55 to confirm direction. It's not about getting an early entry. It's about getting a confirmation. I cleared some of my YT videos. Yeah, we just mopped up a bit. They're still on the WAP database though. How is gold looking today from the news? It's saying the White House is not confident in the numbers. They're saying they're kind of like downplaying they're saying don't get too excited about the positive sentiments that we have here for the US dollar. That's what they're basically saying in the White House. Because right now we're expecting positive numbers from 50 to 66K. US government said, you know, revise expectations. Revise your expectations. We might even get a revision of the previous over there. So, you know, in this case, we might see gold go up. I think it's one of those days you kind of do the opposite of what the sentiments are saying to do. Because gold is already on the way up as well. You might see it go up today. Feels like a day that anything can happen. Just have your popcorns ready at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and watch the fireworks. And maybe just have some tea, you know. Just have some tea. Because the worst thing is, like, if you've been doing so well so far this week, and then to give that back for stupid non-farm payrolls kind of like hurt a bit, because now all that discipline that you had of showing up on time, putting in the work, you know, really putting in your resources into getting those trades, it just goes to waste if you're gonna take a losing trade now. Because imagine like waking up every day, trade the London session with so much discipline just to give it away on a gamble. It's not worth it. Yeah, this thing's gearing up. That's right. That right shoulder is building quite nicely. You're going to see volume start to come in soon. We got to see when the buyers are going to come in. All right, now we still haven't had any spikes. They're still flirting with that 5-minute resistance right over here. Still waiting on those buyers to really come in. Got that massive liquidity grab towards the lows. You got to come in soon. You're going to see this thing start to push soon. Because it looks more better to go up. Going up is the path of least resistance. I think we just got a 5-minute closure as well. We just got a 5-minute closure above resistance over there. It's a cheeky one because it could start earlier. Off like a shotgun play right over here. It could start earlier on the break of the highs by 50.54. But even then, you'd really want to see price break above 50.55. But you should see buyers. This is where probabilities start to increase a little bit more of something interesting that's about to happen here. Because it's trying to get out of the accumulation. Because here it's stuck. You know, here there's not much you're going to expect. But here it's starting to like break the highs. We're going to expect a further push. A much further push. Like something that happened. This is a point in time we're expecting something to happen. We're expecting a distribution. We're expecting a payout. We're expecting something to happen here. But whenever you're down over here, here is still like nothing, you know. Even if it pops up like this and then comes back down here, man, there's still nothing over here. There's still nothing over here. So it shouldn't come back down here, because it comes back down here, all that it's going to do is just going to range again. You know, it's just going to get stuck in here. Then all you got to do is wait. There's nothing else you can do. The only clean traffic, now you see as we're breaking above 50, 56 over here, 50, 55 as well. The only clean traffic is up until towards like 50, 58. There's nothing down here, man. For price to come back down here, it's got to do so much work to come down there, you know. It's just like a path of least resistance. Gotta do so much more work to come down there, so I think it should just break out. And the way it looks, it should just break out and up towards resistance. Shotgun play is playing out beautifully though. Also, the breakout is still in motion.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
5 minutes looking healthy as ever. Yeah, shotgun play is coming out beautifully. They're over here. About like 27 pips on the shotgun entry. And it's about 17, just about 17 pips on the consolidation breakout. It's going for 20 pips over here. There's 20 pips. We're filling up the range. We just hit about 20 pips. We're coming up towards resistance. Let's go. 50.58. Could we get 50? Yeah, 50.58 over here. Let's go. Range has been filled, guys. Range has been filled. Amazing. Range has been filled. Very well done. That's it. That's all that was. That's the move. There's nothing else. If you missed a move, then you missed a move. That was the only range that could have gotten filled right over there. There's nothing more. Maybe just above here now, but that's going to be between you and God now. To get through these levels, that's going to be between you and God. Because if you got an entry here, if you still want to hold a running trade, you know, to get like 80%, 80% over here, and then just let the market do all the heavy lifting that it can to get beyond like these next points. Right? But if you're still waiting for now a trade above here, man, just call it a day. Just call it a day. Got a few rejection wicks over there as well. I think it's a pretty good move. TFX concepts. Tall trader took a 5th trade as well. Have fun. Lurking mode activated. Nice. Yeah, lurking mode is the best mode. I love lurking mode. Lurking mode means that my job is done. You know, my job is done and now I can just paper trade. I can just watch the market, watch other market participants in here. That's just the best mode to be in. Because from the moment I wake up, I know I have maybe like, I got to take like 2 trades. And you never know how the day is going to go. It's going to be a losing day or it's going to be a winning day. So if I can get a winning day and then have a T mode, amazing. That's all that I want to do. You can call it a day right here. And that's it. Don't have to risk anything. Don't let the market pull you in. Don't be a slave to the market. Get what you want from the market, then call it a day. Come back the next day and then do it again. That's how you keep your money. Don't FOMO in. If you already said to yourself you're meant to take 1 trade today, amazing. And you stuck to that rule and you just paper traded, awesome. Getting back some of that control. You see now, price can now start to move up if he wants to move up, because we don't know if it can break above this zone. All we knew was that price can move from here up until this resistance. That's all that we knew, right? So now everything else here is going to like extra bonus profit. See, the drawdown was also quite minimal because we had multiple confirmations. See, now it's like a whole distribution over here. So that's why I showed you, like, it's so important to really lock into understanding how these moves are created in the market, you know, because I believe this is what we're all trying to catch, correct? We're all trying to catch this particular price action. It's kind of like a follow through over here, and we're all trying to avoid as much as possible this in the middle here, or even, oh, this was a nice little breakout, but this also played out beautifully as well. That shot down like about 30 pips. So there was actually 2 setups that happened here. There was a sell confirmation, which provided us the head or the inverted head and shoulders or the liquidity grab for now the next opportunity, which is a buy opportunity. So like 2 back-to-back moves here in this one area. High probability zones for TFX concepts. So either one would have paid you quite nicely. This one moved about 30 pips. This one is still in motion, but moved up quite nicely here. About 50 pips at the break of the high, and the break of accumulation by like 60 pips. And break of the shotgun about like 60 pips. Accumulation 50 pips. As it's still trying to move up. Man, and you caught a move. Imagine that. Imagine catching a move in this market condition. In this market condition, as it's moving sideways like this. Not a lot of people can say they caught this move, chat. Not a lot of people are gonna tell it they can say they caught this move. Let me assure you that much. Right? But you see with TFX concepts, here things are gonna look a lot more simple, and you're gonna look at it in hindsight and you're gonna say, you know, it made a lot of sense why price moved up like this. It was not like a random event. And there was no overcomplication, there was no rocket science. 2 same trade, same price, but later. Yeah, like got the same price, true. Actually, same price. My trade came in here. Never missed a trade. Even missed the first trade, you still got the retracement and then into that next move. I just wish YouTube wasn't shadow banning my account and was recommending it to more people, because more people need to see this. Not enough people are seeing this. But I can't do anything about that. That's just YouTube. That is just YouTube. Nas now move after structure was formed. What is this? SpaceX has already shifted focus to building a self-growing city on the moon. Shift focus to building a self-growing city on the moon, as we can potentially achieve that in less than 10 years, whereas Mars would take about 20 plus years. Mission SpaceX remains the same, extend consciousness and life as we know it to the stars. It is only possible to travel to Mars when the planets align every 26 months, whereas we can launch to the moon every 10 days. 2-day trip time. Oh, pretty nice. 2 days only. This means we can iterate much faster to complete a moon city than a Mars city. The problem with the moon, there's no life on the moon. That's one. There's no atmosphere, so there's the same problem as Mars, correct? Like, you're always gonna have these rocks coming in. That's why there's so many craters on the moon. So, you know, kind of few ways there to die. Maybe one day you gotta have a rock hit the space station. I wonder how they're gonna use like a shield to protect from that. This means we can iterate much faster. That said, SpaceX would also strive to build a Mars city and begin doing so in about 5 to 7 years. But the overriding priority is securing the future of the civilization, and the moon is faster. Elon wants to see all this happen in his lifetime for sure. Probably gonna die on the moon as an old man. That would be such an OP way to go out as a billionaire. Just die on the moon of old age. Sitting on your rocking chair in a spacesuit in your space station with your space Ferraris outside. He's got internet. He's already sorted out the internet problem. He's got a Starlink. Got some Starlinks orbiting the moon. Gonna be the first satellites around the moon. Actually, there are already satellites around the moon, but yeah, one of the few of its kind. I mean, watching the stream as well as Elon Musk, you know, probably sitting on the moon watching the stream. Why Elon build tunnels here on Earth to apply this to the moon? Oh. See, chat, we don't know if price is gonna move that past that zone. That zone is, we don't know. It's like always gonna be uncertainty beyond that mark. That's why it's important not to be greedy. In all cases where price is moving already in your direction, you can see like price already started to reject the zone. It's an area where we had so many multiple rejections before as well, or rejections all across the board. So that whole area is a bit of a danger area, right? And this was. So if we're gonna grow and draw the zones like this is definitely more of a green zone, green area right here. This are all like green zones, but as price starts to move up, the risk factor, it gets a bit more increased, right? So now as it's coming up towards the resistance, obviously we don't know anymore. It goes fully red. So this is still like orange, and it's still green down over here because the market sometimes comes to retest. Like you see, it just kind of like slightly retested that zone. And it's starting to pull back up again. It's an area where the previous buyers were coming in. This is also called now a high volume area. High volume area. See, that's why I just came back just to retest the high volume zone. Call it high volume area, and then boom. Oh wow, look at that. Get up there, Goldie. So I came back to retest a high volume area. This is a previous level where there was a lot of buying activity. Now, it's unfortunate as well because sometimes people put themselves to break even because we're a bit uncertain at that point. So you could even be taken out break even, or you reduce your risk. But if you got a break even, you get taken out. But it's not the market's going out against you. It's just doing what it does, right? If it wants to break through this level right over here, it's not coming for Stefan's entries. It's just doing what it's got to do, right? So it's coming back down to see if there are more buyers, willing buyers, that it can break above these zones. Wow, look at this thing. It's just completely blasted through that level. That's all that it's doing. It has nothing to do with you and your entry or whatever. It's just coming back to see who's willing to buy. Any willing buyers over here? I'm back, checking, got willing buyers, boom. It's just the same thing that happened this morning as well. Show you like back-to-back examples. Not a lot of people can do this. That's why we're the best. That's why we're the best at what we do. If you can find someone who could do this, then, you know, awesome. But not a lot of people can do this. But you see, this was the same thing. It just comes back. It just basically comes back to retest, boom, boom. Retest again before it moves. See also that same reaction? It's funny thing, it also happened on the second retest too. Typically it's just one and then it goes. You see it happen on the second retest too, and then boom, bomba clot. Not a lot of people can do this, but you see that's thank you. Someone left a fire emoji over here. Very nice. Yeah, but that's what it was doing there, and that's what it was doing right over here. But you see it moved on the second retest as well. Boom, boom. But high value area, the first example it dipped in a bit bigger, but sometimes I think like if this is all that's available, then that's all that they're having to buy over there as well. If these are the only available marks, they can only buy at that level. So if you ever watch like the industry, when this billionaire calls in, right, and is like, hey, I want to get filled in, he says, let me give you an example. He said, I want to get filled in by 55.42. Then the broker says, I can only sell you my shares or whatever my quantity at 56.15. Right? They said, no, I want it at 55.49. Said, I can't do that. I can only sell it to you at 56.17. They say, okay, fine, load me up at 56.17. And then maybe load me up again later at a different stage to fill in the rest of my orders. You know, if you want to put 70 million here, it says I can't give you 70 million at 56.17. I can give you 20 million at 56.17. And then we can key in the rest later. You know, so that's another layer to trading that for us retailers, we can't see it. Obviously, you can't see it, right? You can't see because these are people talking to each other. So there's no bookmap or deep charts or any of that bullshit that's going to help you really see it. It just makes you feel good. Whenever you see those things, it gives you like an idea. But all of it is in the price action, man. Like we've been calling these buys out since the beginning right over here. You can see it before it happens. Like the moves accumulate, the distribute. You know where the point A is to where it's coming out from. You know what I mean? Like these other things just give you confidence, but it's in the candlesticks. Like you don't need a volume indicator. Read the freaking candles. Like they're literally telling you what's happening, where the accumulation is, where the distribution is, where potential entries are going to be. It's in the candles, chat. Like forget about those volume indicators. Just use them as confluence. That's it. Can't move the market, man. Like so I could call in right now and say sell me gold 50 million right now. Sell me gold here at 50.68. How the fuck is your deep chart gonna tell you that? When it happens, it's gonna be too late, because deep chart only gonna take information from the candles after the fact, after it's already done what it's done. It's gonna take it. You know, it's only gonna help you here when it's building orders. Like when price is like a bit stagnant for a longer duration, it can maybe help you, but at the same time, like, do you need that? Because you can already see it anyway. And it's all about just removing that unnecessary jargon. You know, these unnecessary things which are overcomplicating the process. That's the whole idea. You don't need the unnecessary stuff when you can read PA. That was let's see, that rejection here came in, hit the resistance, retested for buyers, and shot back up, distributed, massive push towards the highs. Very nice. You see, for the most part, the market didn't do anything here. It was quite quiet. It was just setting up. So the liquidity grab down over here, kind of like reading what it's going to do next potentially. And now it's going to have to set up again somewhere. What's Nas doing? Yeah, but people are still going to trade Nas. Let's see. Nas, we have NQ is not doing much. We got that 30-minute support that it's getting through now. It wants to get through 25, 135 here, so it can keep moving down and fill this range about like 145 pips. But it needs to get through 25, 135. Oh, you see, look, Vic called in. I see, I called Wall Street over here. I said, sell me gold, $50 million, 50.70. They said, okay, awesome. It's gonna fill you in over here. Boom. And it happened quickly. Yeah, it goes back into the range here, into the gulag. It's just a small scalp. You never know what a situation like this truly could be. Because when somebody gets into the market with a large amount of quantity, they also move the market. Question is whether it... Oh. My MetaTrader made a weird sound. Question is whether it is them still in the position, whether like one big position. Man, I missed that MetaTrader sound. Whether it's one big position or it was just a bunch of orders that were coming in as price was moving in that direction. It could have been that too. It could be like either a single position, a huge position, or like massive orders, or just one big position put in different orders. And it's still waiting to play out for the long term. It's quite difficult to know exactly how the orders are getting filled into the market for obvious reasons that we don't have access to that information as retail traders. Even as hedge funds, I don't know to what extent that they have that access to information, because just because you're a hedge fund doesn't mean you know what Warren Buffett's invested in, for example, or like why anyone would be buying right over there. You can see the volume, maybe. Type of volume that's in there, I have no idea. But you see, you don't need to know all that to make money. A lot of people want to know all that stuff, but that's how you're going to lose a lot of money. You know, if you focus on just simple concepts consistently and you can repeat them, that's all you got to do. You really don't have to get too complicated with it. But it's not a popular opinion. I know it's because the way that the industry is laid out for us is the opposite of simple. It's supposed to be complex. Yeah. Got some PD arrays. We got a PD array over here into a... What other word? What's the fanciest ICT word, guys? Just write in the chat. What's the like fanciest ICT word that you've heard? For me, I think it's like PD array. Kind of sounds nice. Rolls off the tongue nice. PD array. PD array. Like, how does ICT come up with this shit as well? It's pretty nice. It's a good vocabulary. Inducement. Silver bullet. What other word is there? What's the fanciest ICT word that you know? Order block? Nah, order block is... Yeah, order block is kind of standard. But like PD array is the one that's the most like fancy I've heard. Consequent encroachment. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I've heard that one once before. Consequent encroachment. Encroachment. Consequent encroachment. Damn. What else we got? Turtle soup. Yeah, consequent encroachment, I think, takes the cake. So we got consequent encroachment. PDRA. I can't even spell that. PDRA. We got the silver bullet. We got the turtle soup. Maybe in this order. Order blocks are kind of basic. Fair value gaps are kind of basic now. They're overused, but whenever he throws in a consequent encroachment, or whenever they throw in a PD array in there, man, it sounds pretty nice, I gotta admit. It sounds really nice. But you know, they're gonna throw that in every now and then. Silver bullet, I've never seen like silver bullet been thrown in that much. Yeah, turtle soup. FEG is thrown in like everywhere. Order blocks. Orbs. What's an orb? I feel like I was born in another year. I feel like all like the kids now, they're gonna know these things, but I feel like I'm an older generation when I look at these things. Even though ICT has been there for really long. It just feels like that. It feels like most people right now in the trading ecosystem, they're more like futures traders, they're more like ICT guys, and they're more trading like NAS 100, and they're all fucking losing money. And that's a beautiful part of it. So it's like, damn, we gotta keep watching these guys. That's the funny part. Anyway, we got price here. It is coming down. We still got about like 4 minutes. 4 minutes for candles to close below 25,133 here. Then we could possibly see this range get filled. So I'm still anticipating Q's kind of coming down here for the rest of the day, I suppose. The daily time frame is only down 0.14%. Whereas gold is peaking quite nicely at 0.75%. So seeing a lot more activity here on gold spot. Really nice push that was of that distribution. PD arrays. I'm not a cool kid. Cool kids table. Walk into the mess hall. All the cool kids sitting by the ICT table, right? So it's so funny, man. I wish I could make a skit out of it. Cool kids by the ICT table. ICT is the main guy there, and he's got his bitches around him. And then the TFX table is like I don't even know what it would be. The cooler kids table. Yeah. It could be the cooler kids table. The ones who break the norm. I remember when I was in school, and because I used to skate, yeah, I was a skater. I did something a lot more different from what people around me were doing. I used to wear like skinny jeans and all of these things, typical skateboarding attire. And no one used to do that until it became a trend, you know. And then there was a point where everybody started wearing skinny jeans, and everybody's doing the jerk. If you remember this song, like do the jerk, do the jerk. But you know, it's like the skaters are always the punk guys, and then they somehow became the cool guys because of the way they dressed and everything. Like ICT are those guys, the cool guys for now. But until they realize, like, you know, maybe this other thing here is kind of different. Gives me a little bit more, I don't know, simple, unbullshitted filter to just, I don't know. But anyway, that's just how I try and look at my trading. It's simple, gets the job done, it's repeatable, and every day the main goal is if we can teach somebody here one thing, that, you know, awesome. If you can take away anything from this stream that can help your trading, that, you know, my job here is done. Like, that's all that we can do. At the end of the day, that is the goal. Now, the rest of it is just banter, right? There's a bunch of banter. Anyway, like, price action is about to close here in about 40 seconds on NAS NQ. So we'll see. It does want to tumble. It does want to tumble. There's a huge range there on the 30. Also on the 1 hour, you got clean traffic. 4 hours, pretty smooth. Man, I remember like even wearing eyeliner was cool at one point. The guys would wear eyeliner. I had a buddy who used to wear eyeliner. He used to get all the bitches. And we got a range here that we're waiting for candlestick to close. About like 10 seconds. Have a great one. Alright, Yasin, enjoy. Candles closing. Alright, let's see if NQ can bleed. I think it looks like it wants to bleed here. Breaks below like 25,111. Gets through that wick. Candle just closed below support. Goldie is doing what gold does best. NQ is finally starting to break. See if you can just completely tumble over here. I would like to see like a quick spike on NQ, you know, like something interesting. I haven't yet seen that happen. Like you see on gold, like how we saw that quick spike to the upside. Would love to see a quick spike on NQ over here as it breaks below that support. It's attempting a little shotgun right here. Shotgun play to the downside. Closing below support. See if it can make its way on down here. It's now in the free zone. This is like deep water over here. It's in a deep pool of liquidity. So it's going in for the encroachment. The seduced encroachment here by 24,966. Yeah, I think the NQ bias for the downside was the play. What's my risk reward? I focus more on percentage gains, but on average, let's say 1 to 1.5. But I focus my trading more on percentage gains. Oh, nice. Oh, actually quite a decent push off that shotgun. About like 43 pips. The first trade that we called out here on NQ sucked though. I think that one kind of like faked out. It did like about 3 pips and then faked out. Faked back to the upside. Somewhere around here. Second trade looks like it's playing out properly. Close below support. Rebreak of the lows. Fill up the range. I think it's also because the bias is heavily towards the downside on NQ. Look at this. Beautifully coming down over here. You see how it's filling up that range? Now you gotta get your FEGs out over here. Boom, boom. Then he's gonna get some reaction. But the whole idea is that price, if it's gonna break below support, that it's gonna come down towards 24,966 over there. That's the whole idea over here. You know, you gotta follow the candlestick. So we always say is the wind is blowing down, you blow down with it. It'll go up, you gotta blow up with it. See, when candlestick starts to break high volume areas such as this, you gotta go with it with your confirmations and just trust that the wave is gonna take you where it wants to take you. You know, you gotta submit to the wave once you come into the ocean. Or rather, let's say if you're in a lake and it's going into a certain direction, you kind of like submit to the wave. It's actually better. This is what Bear Grylls says. Bear Grylls says if you're in whitewater rafting and you know there's this movie called Blind where this lady that covered their eyes because in the movie apparently you can't open your eyes because if you open your eyes or you look around something's gonna come and get you, so they gotta do everything blindfolded. She was in a raft and going down a river, and even Bear Grylls says it's better that she doesn't see anything because most of the time it's better you don't do anything when you're on a raft and the water is taking you. Because when you start to mess with that flow, that's when you actually can put yourself in a lot more danger. So sometimes it's better to submit to the current. So it's just the same thing like in the market, right? Once you get entry confirmations, you get stuck in, submit to the current, let it take you. When I went whitewater rafting, also my instructor one time jumped into the water and we're like, hey, what are you doing, man? Is that dangerous? I said, no, you gotta submit to the current. Now this is the easy part. You know, this is the easy part here. You're just gonna let the water take you back to the basin. Right? So it's kind of like the same thing over here. Yeah, execution, just let the water take you back to the basin. So you don't want to fight against that. You don't want to start getting for some falling knives, trying to catch the buys and everything. That you're swimming against the current. Because that's what the market is at the end of the day. It's just one big current. It's a huge current of money. You see a break above the high, boom, towards the upside. Beautiful distribution. Break below lows, coming down here, like 24,966. Let's see, yen lift, dollar drift. The dollar is back on the slide this week, even as some confidence returns to broader stocks universe. How much percent do you aim for per week? I don't really aim for anything, but every day I aim for 2% at least. So in a week, let's say 10%. Yeah, I think that's about like... All right, so with normal market conditions, I would typically aim for like maybe 5% per week. That's how much I used to aim for. But with the current market conditions we're seeing now, I'm kind of aiming for 10% weeks. So around maybe like 40% a month. That's the target. It's still seeing a lot of volume. Like even right now, I'm up. What was it? About 4.35%. So that's what I'm usually looking for over here. It's really nice. Seller's got a calculator. And whenever somebody tells me a price, let's say if you go to a street market, they got a bunch of these street markets in China as well. This is pretty. That's where I learned about this bargaining trick. This guy who does these flea markets in China. So what he does is really good at what he does. So basically, let's say if they say this thing is gonna cost you $100, just divide it by 5 and start there. $20 because they're gonna see you as a foreigner, right? I think it's in China market. And then they're gonna try and like oversell, you know, maybe get you some Yeezys, maybe gonna sell you some Yeezys or some designer stuff. Well, it's still a lot cheap, but it's obviously fake. So you divide it by 5, get a bit closer to the price. They're also gonna say something again. Then for me, the last mark is divided by 3. So if they don't take, they're gonna ask $100, but you can get it for like $33. Same case for a lot of things, maybe like smaller things as well, like $50. Get it like $10 because they're always trying to 5x most of the time. People try to sell you stuff in these informal areas. Try like 5x, get a nice little 1 to 5 risk reward on you. You like bring it out really close. Some people gonna try and 10x you, man. They start so high. They start so high, man. They start so high. Like, how you even gonna start up again? The guy's gonna start you at such a high level. You're just gonna be like, oh man, what is this? How are you supposed to gain down from such a high mark? Trade 1 on Nas hit target. Why did I close? Only after 14 hours target hit. Swing trade. Yeah, Nas is still trying to come down. Definitely still a lot more room for it. It is in a distribution phase right now. It will be heading down. 5-minute closing above resistance. Let's see what else we got on gold spot. Gold spot is quite difficult to trade. Here at these highs, these rejection points. See on the 1 minute. But 1 minute looks good if you just ignore the fact that you're at this kind of like a higher level. 1 minute breaks above 50.66. Maybe we can see it refill this range here about like 28 pips to 50.69. It's a little bit higher up here. So what? So far on stream, we called one win. We took 1 win, called 1 win, took 1 loss on NAS 100, or like called 1 loss and called 1 win. Pretty nice. 3 wins. 3 wins, 1 loss. I mean, tradable PA. It's not the best though. There's lots of choppiness here on gold. It could definitely look a lot more cleaner than this. I guess it's tradable provided that you're following the lower time frames. Executions on the LTF. Hey, guten Morgen. Bist du da? Ich liebe dich, Nikolai. Ich bin Victor. Meine liebe Katze. Ich liebe Katze. Bist du da? Ich bin da. Meiner Schwanz ist kalt. Ist kalt. Ich liebe Kartoffelschnitzel. Kartoffelschnitzel, my favorite. Or it's a nice meal. Meiner Deutsch ist nicht gut. See what is just setting up here. Probably just having some small pullbacks. We'll start to have some small pullbacks. You see, I love the way like price action just slips into these levels. Isn't it neat? Isn't it neat to see how it's like falls into these zones? It's like it really senses that there's nothing here at all, and then just like falls into them. And like a Goldie trying to skyrocket again. Afrikaans. Oh, Afrikaans. Afrikaans is the Afrikaans in German is, or no. Afrikaans I know. Damn, why am I forgetting these words? Hutsek. Yeah, Afrikaans similar to Deutsch. Dutch. Futsek, bro. Slaka, man. Shakalaka, man. You know the shakalaka? In SA, they got this sauce to put on everything. It's like, it's traditional cuisine, right? Shakalaka. It's like a salsa. Comes in a can. It's pretty nice. I think South Africans do like meat pretty good. They're amazing with meat, in terms of also like the biltong. You cannot eat any biltong that's not South African. If it's not South African biltong, it's not biltong. Yeah, amazing biltong, which is like beef jerky for Americans to call like beef jerky in a sense. It's so good, spiced up, really nice. They don't play with their meat, that's for sure. With their braais. Barbecues. Like literally like every time, every weekend is just braai. Braai with some Brot. Brot, I think in German is called bread. Brot. Yeah. Got some nice meat, some nice bread. They know how to live. Shakalaka, boom boom. Yeah, I gotta live, man. You gotta know about cultures. You can't be ignorant, you know. Don't be ignorant. Don't live in America thinking Africa is just full of huts or mud houses and stuff like that. Don't be ignorant, you know. Look at the world. Look at these people. Like, look at how they're living their life. Like, look at the world. Like, one thing about me, I'm not ignorant. Like, I know generally how the world lives. You know what I mean? So I'm never gonna think like, oh, I expect a certain stereotype of someone living in Holland, for example. Maybe you expect like them to be blonde with like the curly hairs and the wooden shoes and that sort of thing. Can't live in ignorance. Not in this day and age. So yeah, I try to learn something about these cultures, if I can learn even like a single word or like something when I meet them, when I meet the people. I know some Somali. Oidawas. Sharmut. No, that's another language. How do you know so much about South Africa? I studied there. Yeah. I studied in Gauteng. Super rich kids, man. I tell you, like, the cars kids used to drive to school, insane. You know, like people do for money over there. Amazing houses as well. Holy! We just pushed up like 26 pips in literally a second on gold. It's trying to creep up here. $26 pips. Bad word? Yeah, it's a bad word. Definitely don't want to tell a Somali that. Damn, 26 pip skyrocket. Let's see, 5 minute. Close above. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minute candles in a row. Sheesh. Let's go, Goldie.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Man, it's still distributing from that initial point right over here, chat. It just came down once to test that zone again for more buyers. And then just ripped up. Look at this. It's still like been following through from this distribution. Because you gotta think like all the money, right? Like think of all the money was like sitting here. And then it's just getting like distributed now. It came back for one more retest. You know, as markets typically do in standard market fashion. Come and try and take you out before the continuation. Typical. We'll like push up. Come down. Retest. And look at that. It's all distributing. All this money. So, oh, look at this. Even the small little accumulation we called out. It's played out here. Played out here. Got like a solid break. You need a solid break over here. This is a tiny break. That was only not even 1 pip break here. So you need a bit more of a solid break of this area. See, I like pushed up quite nicely. Boom. Orders in again. Distribution. So it's like the same effect. Same effect that happened like right here. Same effect that literally like happened right here. It's just much bigger down here. It's the same concept like right here. Right over there. Wow, look at this. Where's the volume coming from? 1 minute just pushed up again about 36 pips in literally a second. Sheesh, we got also the kiss of death situation. 8 SMA right underneath that candlestick right there. And it's still like ripping up. Damn, 0.94%. As we're getting closer and closer to NFP, I guess the market's getting a bit angsty. Maybe we are expecting price to go up for the NFP. Daily candle even opened without a bottom wick over there. The White House is not confident in the positive outlook of the NFP. So that was the latest news out the White House regarding the non-farm payrolls. They're telling you to kind of like revise your expectations. So instead of getting a sentimental bias of a positive US dollar, maybe we might be actually getting that negative rate cut. I mean that negative non-farm payroll. Some number that's going to come below. You see, if we get a number below 66K, that's going to be bad for the dollar. Get it like above, that's going to be good. So also pay attention to what number comes out as. So the way the market is moving right now, we're expecting a number lower than 50,000. I only target 16 pips. I target like 16, 20, 30 pips, anywhere between that range. But some dumb guy over here wrote on my comment on my video. Let me read to you. This is why I hold my comments. But let me, because I think like, should I gonna respond to this? Some dumb guy responded here, why have you secured 3 pips? And I'm just wondering what the hell he's talking about, because if you're gonna look at this trade, I post my trade every day here. Look at this. I post my trades every day. If you're gonna look at this trade, how does that look like 3 pips? Where is that comment? Here, wait, let me accept it, and then we're gonna put it here. And the reason I do this is because before doing this, people used to advertise a lot, so I had to start holding comments, and then accepting it manually. Otherwise, because people are gonna advertise. There was a time that was so aggressive. I don't know. It was some kind of a meme coin phase. For some reason, it's not loading there. See, this is a move right over here. I think it's just a rage bait. It's so crazy. You think you're never gonna let rage bait get to you until you actually start being online. Because typically you think, you know, you can just ignore it, but I don't know why it's hard to ignore it sometimes. Havik, can you explain why only 3 pips? Maybe it's hard to ignore because sometimes people are just so silly that you cannot even believe it. What should I reply to this comment here? Why I secure only 3 pips in profit? What should I tell him? I don't even know what to tell him. He's got a profile picture of a hen. Shows the size of his brain as well. Got a bird brain. 3 pips. 3 pips. I don't know. Maybe I just like the comment. Maybe I just gotta like his comment. That's it. Yeah, chat, but you follow up on you can follow up on the trades right over here. I always like to explain just a bit of these concepts. So I'm posting literally like every day, all my trades. Oh, nice. Oh, okay, awesome. We got the guy in the chat. Hi, Vic. Did I calculate the pips wrong? Yeah, I think you did. I think you did. You did. I secured around in my terminal over here. Oh, you can check it on MetaTrader. Wait, I have to calculate like this. I secured around 25 pips on that move. So we gotta calculate. First of all, make sure you're on FXCM. FXCM over here. This is a broker that I use. So with FXCM, because different brokers gonna show a bit differently, like the pip calculation. But if you look from price from here to here, you see that says 411, but it's actually 41 pips. This 41 pips. So just imagine there's like a decimal right over here. So 41. 41. Obviously, the more you go up, you got now. This is 100 pips. See, 100. Put a decimal here on the last digit. Alright, so that's like 41. That's like 40. Just 400. That's 40.0 pips. So you see this trade that we took over here? This was about 20 pips. We're gonna say 200. So secure 20 pips on this move. Yeah, no worries. I'll take the comment. Nah, no worries. Leave the comment, man. It's fine if you want to. No worries. Yeah, at least you wrote in the chat. You see, it's good to write in the chat as well. Because I think it's the first time I've seen you write in the chat, too. That's my very first time. But you see, it's good you try, you know? Like, that's how you try. You try, you fail, and then you learn. But if you don't try and you, like, hold everything to yourself, then even just being feared of being ridiculed is also just gonna hold you back. Like, you never take anything personally, you know? Like, always look at everything like some kind of an opportunity to learn. Because even when people make you feel like you've been ridiculed, they'll also kind of teach you something. That's why they say your biggest supporter is gonna be your haters. Your haters are always gonna tell you what to improve. So yeah, don't be shy to fail, man. See, you're gonna learn something. So I say you gotta send in some chart work, you know, you gotta send in some chart. Who gives a shit what people think, right? Just do your thing, learn your mistakes, and move on. You know, the important thing is you failing. You like banging out failure like this. Who gives a shit? When did it become uncool to try? You know, I love that thing that ASAP Rocky also says. When did it become uncool to try?
As the user, and this guy comes trying to make a bliss and trying to make it ignorant, trying things. Suck a dick. Nobody gives a fuck about what you do. It doesn't matter. Yeah, trying things. You tried it too. Comes trying to make a bliss and trying to make it ignorant, trying things. Suck a dick. Nobody gives a fuck about what you do. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm trying things. You tried it too. You know, how you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try? Fucking loser. Matter of fact, suck another dick.
I was once a Vic hater, but then I realized there's just levels to this shit. Yeah, there's just levels. Because you know, when you're gonna hate from a lower level. You know, it's always coming from a lower level, because the person you're gonna hate on, they're gonna be worthy to speak about, right? So that means you're putting them on a higher level. I also try not to hate on people, I really do, but I think it's just like human nature. It's human nature. We make a lot of fun of ICT here on the stream as well. I get it. I get what I'm doing, but the important thing is you know what you're doing, right? That you know, even if you're doing that you know that this is not who you truly are, because that's not what drives you. Being a hater doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah, at the end of the day, I would love to work with people, you know, but obviously I talk shit, but you know, if we ever got to the point where we could work together, we'll go work together. You know, that's just the way it is. You gotta have that side of you as well. But some people don't have that side. So you see, they're blinded by ego. And that kind of like diminishes your opportunity to succeed in this world. So, you know, it's just all bants over here. Don't take anything personal. Try and learn from it, if anything. Anyway, let's see. Price here on 30 minutes coming down. Small little retracement on NAS. On NQ. It's going to create a support. Or rather, it has created a support on the 5 minute. Right over here. If we can break below that support, you know, maybe we can see an additional 100 pip push to the downside. But you see, it already distributed from this area. So you even have not only the shotgun did you have, but you also have a range high and a range low right over here. Range high, range low. See, range high, range low, shotgun play, entry execution, and also breakout confirmation right over here. You see how that volume comes in? That's kind of what you want to look and see. Is, are you getting those reactions? Whenever you get your entries, are you getting like a feeling that people are backing your trade up? You know, like when you take a buy and you see a buy going to profit like this, you know, that should be a good feeling. You shouldn't look at that and say, oh man, you know, couldn't catch that trade on time. Man, it should be a good feeling, because now you know that your idea is getting backed up by the market when it moves like that. That's a very good feeling. That's what you want to see. You know, like when it breaks like this, you see the high volume area, look at this. Look at how it broke here, and then it just went up. You see, you're getting backed up by the market, that your analysis is correct. And then you see these other additional things come into play, you know, come and retest, whatever. Then it also should give you more confidence that there's something special happening there. You know, look at this. Look at this. The market backs you up. Look at this break of the highs that we called out over here. You're being backed up, man. The market's backing you up. It's saying you're on the right track, my friend. That's how I started finding my consistency. You know, when I started taking these trades, then the market backs me up like this. I'm like, damn. All right, you know, feels good. Feels good to have that confirmation. Because a lot of these other strategies that I was learning, they're putting too much drawdown, you know. Too much drawdown, and eventually stops get hit, or that's kind of like swing trading. Or trading slower markets like NQ can be really slow. You're going to have a lot of drawdown before it hits your profits. But when it backs up like that, that's, I think, the purest form of love the market can give you. The quick hard truth of whether you are correct or wrong. The best thing that I can do to you. Pull you out of your misery quickly if you're wrong, and reward you gracefully if you're correct. As you can see, it's been the case here for a lot of people on Gold Spot who actually were able to identify where price came out from. And that risk management is kind of discretionary here because risk is discretionary, correct? Risk, some people are going to leave the additional risk expecting price to go up with the NFP, whatever they're expecting. Some people may go out of break even. Some people got their break even still being protected here because it only came to retest the top of the accumulation, but it didn't retest the shotgun play. The initial reaction or confirmation of price to move up, which you can see if price came here and retested this zone multiple times and still couldn't break above. Why this guy, you see, this guy sticks his head out the window, right? This is the leader right over here. The leader always does what the other people that they don't want to do. You see, that's you right over here. You gotta do and let these people do what all the people are doing. This is the crowd over here. So let the crowd go for their funding challenges. Let the crowd waste their money in these, like where most people are. You gotta come out as a leader and take a step forward towards making the right moves, right plays, which are not gonna be the obvious plays. Yeah, everybody here is gonna do the obvious plays. You gotta kind of step away from that and like stand out. You see, buddy over here, he stood out. He stood out. I said, hey, what are you guys doing? You guys still doing Funnit programs? All right, man, I'm gonna see you later. See, so he like closed above here and next guy just broke the highs and said, I'm gonna see you guys later. It's gonna go up over here. Then everybody else, they're gonna be stuck down here, all just trying to kill each other, trying to just make it out alive because, you know, they're all just trying to get lucky. They're all just trying to get lucky. They're all fighting in this range, all just trying to get lucky. But, you know, you gotta take a step back and then realize, oh, damn. Maybe you gotta change the way that I'm thinking over here. Then you gotta step out. You see, he steps out like this and says, all right, see you guys later. I'm out. I'm outie. That's just the way life is. It's a very beautiful thing to realize certain things like that in real life as well. Realize when it's time to level up. It's a very beautiful thing. It comes with sacrifices though. I lost a lot. I lost a lot to get to where I am today. I lost a lot of relationships. You know, I lost a lot of friendships. But you know, those things you can always get those things later on in your life. There are certain things that you can't get later on in your life, but you know, those things you can get later again. But it's a sacrifice you have to be willing to make. I got BE hit on a prop. Have to use larger SL because spread. Missed the bomber clut. Ooh. Spreads on IC markets have been pretty good of late though. Just C-Trader is a shitty terminal. I think that's what the problem was. The spreads on IC markets are really good, right? I'm getting about like one pip on gold. Our stops always 16 pips. It's either 16 or 20 pips. Either one of those two. Before it used to be like 5 pips. I used to even do 3 pips on GJ. I would have a 3 pip stop loss. But that was a different time, you know. I also had to moves would only move like 10 pips. So, you know, 3 pip stop loss, 10 pip tick profit. Got about a 1 to 3.33 risk reward. It just manually closed, you know. The thing is that the spread is gonna get you out. It's gonna make the stop loss 2 pips. But just manually close if it goes to the level. Because the spread is just an unnecessary variable that as a day trader you gotta deal with. So, you know, just don't put like a physical stop and manually close your trade. But yeah, before we would have like even a 3 pip stop loss. But you see market conditions right now can only facilitate like 16 or 20 pips. We try to get it as efficient as possible with no wastage. We don't waste pips. Everything's been calculated the way it should be, because anyway, trading is just windows of opportunity, so you can control the variables within a shorter window of opportunity. So that's why I can get away with a 3 pip. I can get away with a 16 or 20 pip because it's in a controlled environment. But if you're just trading to trade and you don't know what you're doing, like everything's just gonna be random, so you can't control even. You're just trading to trade. Wake up to trade. Wake up to watch the stream. Thank you, Wayne. I've been wanting to watch the Batman movies again. I want to watch the one with the Joker as Heath Ledger, right? Heath Ledger plays a Joker. I want to watch that Batman again. Beautiful. The guy is such a brilliant actor. R.I.P. Killed him. This role killed him. Such a freaking awesome Joker. It's like, you know, the Conjuring movies? Director said when they're writing the script middle of the night, they would always experience paranormal activity. I haven't even like really watched Conjuring. I'm too afraid to watch Conjuring. I don't like horror movies because I always remember about them when I'm going to bed. Apparently all the cast members and the actors, no, it's just marketing, but they say they all kind of experience something with the Conjuring movies. Damn. Imagine making a Conjuring movie. Acting that shit. Oh my god. All right, so price right now is let's just do a small recap here. The 1 minute is, what's the 1 minute doing? Accumulating on Nasdaq accumulation. It's not really looking as clean on NQ over here. We got support that's currently forming. We got a range here is about like 19 pips. 30-minute candles are still moving down. So what I would suggest on NQ, at least for now, is just wait for the support to get broken. Or rather, wait for resistance to be formed and a break of the lows here for a quicker entry by 25.092. That would probably give that would give a better probability of distribution to the downside. I can see the play for setting up over here. It's actually setting up quite nicely, and then it's gonna break below the SMAs. Gonna get SMA confluence on that as well. For gold, it's breaking the highs. I think this would have been like a nice accumulation here too, but I don't like the way that this. It's just not set up like very properly. It would be much nicer if this actually formed like a resistance and then rebroke the lows if you're expecting sells on gold, or if it forms that resistance and then rebreaks the highs, expecting like a bullish continuation. I think like either one of those two. Should try fusion markets, lower spread and commission. No thanks. I think like 1 pip spread is already pretty good. I don't the market the industry standard is maybe like 1 or 2 pips. 2 trades and done for the day. Awesome. Vantage got the best spreads, really. They beat 1 pip. Oh, gold I see markets like you get 0.8 pips. Yeah, like 0.8 pips, 1 pip, roughly around that much. Pretty nice. Good job, sir. Was the stop loss for the first trade 16? Yeah, it was 16. 16, yeah. I watched the last Conjuring. A friend wanted to watch it in the cinema when it came out. I don't know how he's not afraid. I had to let the lights up. Still can't. Didn't help. Plays on your psychology. A lot of it is also it's like when humans are connected, right? So like you can get sometimes mass hysteria. If you have like had a mass hysteria, you can actually, people can be in a situation where they kind of scare each other enough to make something real. There were like experiments done about this as well. All in the same room together, if you're all scared enough, you can actually make something real, right? It's like mass hysteria, and It's like traditions, like maybe the ancient, what do you call, the Native Americans, you know, when they have those village ceremonies and they're doing the whole thing, and this mass hysteria actually can conjure up something that, you know, it's kind of difficult to explain. Oh wow, look at this. Oh, holy, holy, how the heck? You see, I told you, like, break of the highs over here. But man, look at this thing. 190, 100 and 100 pips, 100 pips, 120 pips. Man, amazing. Anybody managed to execute on that? We called it out. That buys above here. You got like futures. You're gonna call that on futures. Like entries came a little bit sooner, but like I think on either one of them would have been good. Like either break of that high or like break above this high. Either one of those two would have been good. So it was either going to be two things. There's going to be a break of the highs for price to move up, or it's going to be break of the lows, as we mentioned, that price could move down. But you see this? It's still moving up over here. So you see that's a market again. You see how it keeps backing us up? It keeps backing us up, man. TFX concepts. TFX concepts. It keeps letting us know that whatever it is that we're doing, just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. So that's why you journal, right? So whatever it is that you're doing, you get some W's. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep following the W train. Because the market is rewarding you for doing something right. Man, look at how many more losses I used to take in 2025. When we're still uncertain about what to expect from markets. We're getting a lot more choppiness. Like the months were still ending quite positive, but we would have a lot more red days. Because, you know, the market was not as forgiving as well. So whenever I take like a losing trade, it would be a losing trade. See, it was not as forgiving, man. Look at June, man. June was disciplining me. I got 50% less of what I usually make in June. I got humbled real quick, man. There was just one day I lost about 4.16% back-to-back losses over here. July. See, August was also kind of wild, but we took a lot of trades in August, though. We took about 41 trades in August. But yeah, this year has been slightly a bit different. I've been feeling good about this year. Just because our concepts are getting backed up by the market so beautiful, so well, that I just, you know, sometimes you feel good and you trade good, right? Y'all know that phenomenon, like especially like when you take a break. Usually it happens to people when they take a break, when they don't look at the charts for a while, kind of come back feeling good, right? And then you end up taking like positive trades on the first goes. Feel good, you trade good. You eat good, you feel good. I'm holding from the low on the 30-minute, but prop firms reduce size limit on gold, so only 1 micro. All prop firms, or is it just that one top step? Isn't it just one prop firm, or is it all of them? I thought it was just top step. Nah, multiple. Top 5. Sheesh, man. Goldie is slaying. Slay queen. Oh my goodness. Look at that. What a slay queen this is. What a beauty. What a beauty. Marry me, gold. You guys can trade NQ. I'm gonna take gold. Look at this. This thing just pushed up like, how many pips is that? 130 pips? Jesus. Sheesh, and she's still going. Damn, goldies. Gold is gold, man. Gold is gold. Gold is gold. Oh my god, she's still going. Even in the last 5 seconds, she wants to go. There's no hold up with this one, man. There's no hold up with this one. Goes a wildcat. You know, some men, you have to be the man you have to be for gold. You know, sometimes you're gonna look at a woman and you're gonna say, man, this woman, she's too good for me. I'm not at my prime yet. She has to wait for me. She has to wait for me. I hit the gym properly. I stack up my bread. Then I will be worthy of her. That's what gold is. You just gotta look and enjoy for now, you know? until you're ready. Because when she starts to pay you, she will pay you very, very well. None of this is investment advice, by the way. This is just my own opinion. But yeah, Goldie is something else. I don't get it, man. I don't get why people trade NAS. Go crazy all day thinking about that. When I'm sitting on the couch, man, sometimes I just sit on the couch and I just wonder to myself, why is everybody trading this NAS? Like, what is it about NAS? Am I missing something? That's like a midlife crisis that I'm having right now. Suggest our 2 best brokers. IC Markets and maybe Vantage. You're holding a window from 50-40. See, 50-40 is down. Wow, man. Congratulations. Make sure you secure something, dude. I don't know if you're trading or what it is that you're doing over there, but hey, Ricardo, aren't you in these buys? Did it stop you out? You said you were trading the Asia session swing trade. What happened to your position? I hope it wasn't this wick. That would have been so annoying because that would have been the only wick, right? Because that's when you said like it was coming down. Unless you already secured your position. But yeah, I think it's like they're rooting for more of a bullish gold. As we mentioned, the White House is also saying that to revise your expectations on what is the sentiments currently. Don't have too much expectations of good numbers. And you see now price is pricing that in, I guess. It's already on the way up over here since the market opened. And it's got this range to fill. From here to here, it's going to be like 321 pips. See, like NQ is also distributing right now. You see this? It's starting to break below here. Should be moving. It should be moving beautifully as well. If this was gold, I would already have been expecting like a very nice big push. But it's in momentum. It's in momentum. NQ is down 0.30% currently. So definitely you're seeing a lot more sell side. You can see like right over here, sell side, pull up, low accumulation. It's trying to break the lows to keep moving down. Because this is just a retracement. If you go on the 30-minute, you still have so much room for NQ to actually like fill that area. So that's, you know, we're just going to keep an eye on that, but that should be moving down. It's also triggering orders to move down. It's just a matter of like, do these guys get paid or, you know, what happens at this point? Because now like price has to move, you know. It's already accumulated the orders. It's done what it needed to do. Ideally, it should just be moving. A beautiful, man. Goldie. How many trades were called out here today? We took one buy on gold. We missed to call out this one, but that was a liquidity grab. We called out this buy, which is also a shotgun entry. We called out this buy, and we also called out this buy. Very nice. Now it's getting up higher and higher and higher. Don't overtrade. If you're missing trades, just don't trade. Because, you know, you miss a lot of entries already. So you got to look and review why you're missing those entries. It's not about catching the next. Even if the next one here breaks like this, if it creates a support and then breaks, it's not about catching the break. It's to review the reason why you're not catching the earlier breaks. Is it because of timetable or is it because of lack of confidence to execute? Because lack of confidence to execute usually leads to you taking the bad trade. Timetable just means then today price was already moving. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be at a different situation. Yeah, but don't chase. Gotta identify what that issue was, but don't chase. Let's let it play. Yeah, this is really nice. I knew today at least we could get something because of the percentage gains. But for sure, NFP still created a very sketchy PA for us, like for the London right here. Still very sketchy PA. It's just working its way out now. Look at the size of this 5-minute over here. It opened without even a bottom wick. No bottom wick and it shot up 271 points. Look at this thing, man. Got a nice little kiss of death in there as well. Tapped it beautifully. Then a nice little confirmation for the breakout. I believe those are breakout here. Yeah, look at that breakout here with that nice little SMA crossover. I mean, that nice SMA kiss of death. Entry confluence right over here. Got a kiss of death on that move and it just shot up. This trade, what do we get? We got, at least we're trading above the SMA. I don't think we got a kiss of death. Let me see. Maybe we did. Let's see. Boom. It was kind of holding. Actually, did we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. It was right under the candle as it opened. So you see the way like that props it up like this. The way it's supposed to on that SMA. You can download the free SMA in the description box. Free TFX SMA. But look at this next candle. Look how it opens up and then supported like boop. Get over the fence, buddy. Jump the fence. You see how I jumped the fence to take profit? It's the same thing that, you know, you're going to have like happen right over here. You can start new. And it's going to help it jump the fence. It's like, okay, so this is the fence over here. Now can we jump you over the fence? Right? So you can get your way all the way up until the resistance. Now look at this. Next candle come. Boom. Jumped over the fence. Little alley-oop over here. And then, you know, price cut it started to move up over here. See, and it still supported it. It still held it all the way. All the way. We talk about trailing positions in the simulations we do on WAP. Right? So this will be a nice trail. So once it closes below it, you can see right over here. That's when you can expect a much larger dip down. You like push it up, jump the fence. If you're trailing, most of the time you can still hold it longer than you would naturally. Because if you're going to close anywhere there, even if it closed below that SMA, technically you would have still held about 47 pips instead of a usual like 25. Maybe you're holding towards resistance. And maybe help you hold a bit longer. But yeah, that's just one method. Just one method of doing it though. Adding winner to AUD USD. Oh, Naz, man. Look at Naz. Always so emotional about the direction it wants to go. It like breaks the lows and then it's like thinking, do I want to break the lows? You know, it's a very complicated instrument in my opinion. It's nice, but also complicated. But a push like this on gold would have been at least like 20 pips because of this, I guess because of this wick. Right over there. Like maybe like 18, 20. It's so complicated. See, I like break below the low over here. And then now it's like thinking, yeah, oh, do I really want to go there? Maybe I got to change my order. Maybe I got to change my clothes. Let me go back, change my clothes. And think about what I want to do a little bit longer. That's NQ. Gold is like, let's go, baby. You ready? You good? You good? You good? Awesome. Let's go. Why did you start trading NQ? I'm just doing it for the lemmings. Because people trade NQ. So if I don't put NQ, then people are not going to watch the stream. So I put NQ. God's honest truth. I fell victim. I'm a marketer. Don't look at me. Next, I'm going to do ICT streams. I'm going to learn ICT. Then I'm going to get all the ICT members on my stream. Then I'm just going to switch up on them one day and say, hey guys, we actually trade TFX concepts here. They get 100,000 people in the stream. They switch up the script and be like, now I got you all here. Now let's focus on what actually works. Because either way, because you would not have come here if I didn't do that. So now that I have you here, let's focus on this. The more you look at NQ, the more you'll get tempted to take a trade. Nah. It's alright, man. We called like a shotgun sell-off over here. So far on NQ, I called out one loss, one win. And this one is looking like a reversal. So one mitigated loss over here. You'd have already been out of this trade because it's giving a hard time. It's giving a hard time. You see, it's a reversal. It's a market's warning. So you never like hold trades like this. When it like comes and chops around like this, you're better off just cutting it because it's coming for a stop loss. See, people just hold unnecessarily. I don't know why NQ. Why is NQ doing that? NQ loves this bullshit, doesn't it? It's doing the same thing like very quick as well. This is what's happening to NQ traders, huh? This is what's going on here with NQ people. They're getting these fast fake outs, huh? It's the same thing that also for some reason happened here as well. Like it broke the lows and then all of a sudden it's like opposite direction. It's like, what? All of a sudden you've chosen a direction and then all of a sudden it does a U-turn on you. Like, what is that? This is some toxic ass relationship over here. So that's why I'm just watching NQ because I know it's garbage. I just watch it. It's just the same as any other pair. It would be like watching GJ. No difference. You look at GJ as well. At least GJ is moving with somewhat of a direction over here of late. Okay, there's still a break of the highs on GJ. Quite really nice to break the highs and then follows through. Little 5-minute accumulation. Dude, but that's really fucked up though. Like, how does it break the low and then just complete the reverse? You might as well just trade the reversals then at that point, if that's the characteristic of it. Or really limit the amount of trades that you take on the instrument. This one played out nice up over here. Broke it and then follow through quite nicely. But the thing is, it's doing this thing that even I don't typically see gold do this like this often. Like there's one reversal right here and there's a quick reversal right over here. I don't even see gold do that typically. But the way NQ is doing it, like even Ricardo says that it typically it will fake you out first and then go in your direction. That's a typical characteristic of that instrument. So you just gotta see like with your strategy how you're gonna approach it, I guess. But I think for a lot of people, they still experience the fake outs. If that's the nature of it, then that just might be the case. NQ blew your account. I started watching here while learning ICT. Eventually saw the light. Welcome to the light. Welcome to the light. You have options, man. There's more options than just what you're gonna think. Like for me, when I was learning as well, I was learning from people. But when I became profitable, I kind of learned from myself. But I understood basically the way that things go around and then kind of learned myself. So you definitely have options. It's not like, trading is not packaged like ICT, order blocks, TFX even. It's not packaged like this that you can only be profitable here, here, or here. But you have to be able to like at least understand and then build yourself that system that you can, execute on without hesitation, confidence. It makes sense to you. And hopefully it's based off of PA, like real organic price action, because people call anything price action nowadays. Say moving averages price action based off of PA, but that's not what it is. Like organic price action is, again, it's very hard to speak because you can also say ICT is the same way with candlesticks, but it's kind of, like ICT brings in like zones from here, for example. It takes like a wick from here to here. You know what I mean? It's like a different kind of understanding of price action. Whereas like for us, we're going to be reading somehow more of the candle bodies. You can also say he reads the kind of bodies too, but that's not the point. Seems like your TP was too small. That's the thing about gold. It gives. When it gives, it gives. When it rains, it pours. You're never gonna get rid of that feeling with gold. You always feel like your TP is too small with gold. Gold will forever make you feel like you should have held it longer. Like even look at this. What is this? What do we take over here? Is it a buy? Yeah, we knew it could fill the range, but I guess it still filled the range. It did what it was meant to do anyway. It filled the range right towards 50.62 and then came down. There are other times where it just does these kind of like moves, right? If this loads. You always feel like you could have held much more. Like that's a common trait with gold. I'm yet to see with NQ. I'm still monitoring NQ. I'm still trying to see what all the hype is about. But I've yet to see that with NQ. Like they're a massive fake out and pulled up so aggressively. Holy. There's a little 24, 25 pip move off the break of the high there. But you see how it squeezed the how it trapped the sellers here in the market. You see how it like came down. Actually, like that was a trigger confirmation for a sell-off. But you see, like it just trapped them. That's why we said this was a risk management model right over here. When it does that, that's basically the market give you insurance. It's how we took our win the other day. I don't know, like YouTube is just not showing my content to people. I don't know, maybe I gotta start watering down my shit or something. I don't know. But anyway, this is this market reversal. This is the same thing. This was the same idea here that we had like a market reversal and we took advantage of that play. You know, when the market shows you or signals you this section right over here, it signals you this section that, you know, breaks below and it traps the sellers in, then you can use that as a confluence to push up in that direction. So that's essentially, that's the trade that we took, and that's what happened over here as well. That's why when this is happening, we're like, man, you gotta like reduce your stop loss, manage your risk, because it's most likely coming from your stop loss. But most people are not gonna manage the stop loss. They're gonna let it hit. But you know, out of experience, when you get that enough happen to you, you start to realize that it's much better for you to manage your risk and not overly marry a bias. Like if the trade is not going in your direction, there's a high chance it's gonna be a losing trade. So just don't stick with it. Just let it go and move on to the next trade as fast as possible. That's the key thing, because now you lose like half here and then making it back is easier. But you see, the thing with gold, right? With gold, this is a type of risk management model we have not had on gold, like inside of a position. We can catch it later as an entry confirmation, but to get inside of a position like what NQ has done, I would say that's a good thing about the pair. At least it moves slow. And by virtue of it moving slow, it allows us to see the points where we have to reduce our risk much better, because it moves like a grandma. Yeah, so when it moves like a grandma, we're gonna see that candles printing nicely. They will say, okay, you know, that's where we can now reduce the risk over here. That's the only good thing. And that's the good thing about GJ as well, that it moved really slow. So when I was learning how to trade, I was able to understand and manage risk in certain different ways, like either closing partials or waiting for negative candle closes against me, because GJ would allow me those conditions to learn from, right? But even gold during that time would have allowed you those conditions. But in 2025, 2026, maybe not as much. But it's a double-edged sword, because, okay, you don't get to manage your risk, fine. But you get to have more winning trades because it's more forgiving on the other end. So the back end is not as forgiving, right? The stop loss area maybe not as forgiving, right? But the front end is a lot more forgiving. So even if you gotta like have your take profit hit, it's gonna hit your take profit quickly and then reverse, because there's so much volume, it like spreads out more into the TP area. But it's same double-edged on the back end things. The only thing that saves you is your stop loss in gold. It's putting it correctly. So you've seen like ours, 16 pips, 20 pips. We've had those trades where it came exactly at that mark and then reverse and hit our take profit. That's the only other way that you can look at the risk management, is just using the right appropriate risk getting into the trade and then expecting the stop loss to hold, as opposed to looking for a 50% plus reduction of risk on structure when it goes against you, like what you're seeing on NQ. But you see, it works in your favor as well, because it pushes more into your TPs. And if it pushes backwards, it should still respect the SL, but don't expect much of a negative 50% reduction, negative 50+% reduction, which you talk about on WAP, on how to do that. But what else you can at least be confident about is break-evens. Break-evens also part of risk management. So that follow-through can also push, like, let's say 16 pips. And then even if you're still talking like 20 pips, I typically like to put my stop to break even at 16. So that's still a form of risk management that it's going to be catered to you as well. Yeah, so I think I would prefer it this way than the NQ way. Because NQ way, it's nice to have when gold is not moving anyway. So that's what we get when we get low volume. More of situations like that. Took an L, we'll go back to the charts to find out what I could have done better. Very good. Yeah, you take a winning trade, you have a winning trade, you got to cherish that winning trade. If you take a losing trade, just come back the next session. Come back the next session. If you take a winning trade, it's a different story. Because you can slowly compound your winning trade, your winning trades, like by reducing your exposure to the market. If you take a losing trade, depending if you like lost, like, let's say 1%, like try again during another session. But now you have to make back the losing trade. You feel like you got to make back the losing trade. So what are you going to do? I like to personally, this is what I do. If I lose 2% at the beginning of the day, I usually still take another trade. Even though this is my limit for the day, 2%, I usually still take another trade, at least 1%. Then if I lose the next trade, 1%, you have to call it a day. So I guess it depends on how your day progresses, what you're more comfortable with, Yasin, and you get that data from your journal anyway. So if you have like more winning trades, you can splurge a bit. You can try your luck, provided you know what you're doing. Just come back a different session. If you know you have more clusters of losing trades, a lot more bleeding, it's more appropriate for you to just call it as soon as you see that. Like maybe even 2 losses in a row, call it a day. Because that bleeding only increases usually on days like that. Because there's a reason you're losing, right? If you look at gold today, for example, gold has been paying out. Like literally the whole time it's been paying out since NQ has been the one that's, I'm calling trades on NQ. Some of them are just reversing. Some of them played out, but mostly just a lot of whips. But on gold, it's just like playing out here. One trade after another trade, after another trade, after another trade. It's just all like been back-to-back W's. So I think, you know, that's the difference. There's completely different market conditions, completely different instruments. You know, but I think you got all experience. Like, depending on the way you look at the market and your strategy, you experience what I'm saying a bit differently. For some of you, maybe gold is the one which is a problem, you know, and Q is the one which is a bit more favorable. But when I break down the charts like this, I generalize it. I try to, as much as possible, based not only from what I know, but from just general price action activity. You know, typically if price candle closes levels, it should move in that direction like this. If it breaks key wicks, it should move in that direction. But you see, whenever you have these even brutal swings, you can even see them on the 5-minute. See, long ass wick breaking the lows. It's a liquidity grab right over here. Liquidity grabs are all these long wicks, which seem a bit odd, right? So that's how you kind of generalize the price action. So you're not playing, yeah, so you kind of just see it better and look at it for what it is. Because it's moving down. The daily right now is down 0.14%, but there's still no like full-on direction, right? Because 0.14% is close to being a doji on the daily. So also kind of understandable, I suppose, why it is faking out so much, probably. Whereas, you know, gold is already up 1.34%. So obviously there's going to be less fake outs for the buyers because they're in control of this market right now. If you're a seller and you start taking losses on gold today, there's a reason why you're taking losses on gold. Just look at the daily time frame. What direction is it moving up? It's sometimes just as simple as that. Like if you look at all this daily volume, where have traders been making the most amount of money? So if you're taking any short losses, it's very straightforward here. You can see exactly why that is. With NQ right now, it's a bit uncertain because, yeah, it's still a doji, but I would still be expecting with the way NQ was moving anyway that we'd be seeing a lot more selling pressure. You can see we've been trickling to the downside, nonetheless, more often. But it seems for NQ to trend, it's going to take a lot of work, right? Let's see, on the daily time frame, you have candles that can push. Let's see, this was about 2.88%. Oh, nice. Oh, NQ can trend nicely. It's like 2.54%. I think the trend volume comes in during the New York then. Most of that volume. Because obviously it's NQ anyway. It's got like 2.56%. Yeah, not bad. 1.35. Here it peaked about 2.84. Healthy daily volume. Gold and silver are rallying against ahead of payrolls report. Steve Goldstein. Gold and silver futures. Remember, drink more water, chat. Drink some more water. Gold and futures each rallied on Wednesday as investors assessing the likelihood of a Federal Reserve rate cut, as well as geopolitical tensions. There's been a strong speculation about this employment report, with both White House advisor Hassett and trade advisor Navarro weighing in over the past 2 days, essentially attempting to manage expectations in the case of a downside surprise. Oh yes, let's get that downside surprise, because right now we're expecting price to go up, sentiments-wise. Based off of previous data on Forex Factory, those are the numbers. Those are not retail numbers. Those are numbers we're all looking at, right? So the sentiment is that dollar should move up, but you see, there's a lot of whispers that that it's not going to be as performing as well as the numbers are saying that it should. So that's what's happening over here, and now you're seeing a lot more upside on gold and silver, essentially attempting to manage. All right, so let's see. Trade advisor Navarro weighing in over the past 2 days, essentially attempting to manage expectations in case of a downside surprise. Further denting risk appetite, a downside surprise on dollar. The dollar tends but doesn't always move in the opposite direction to precious metals. That's true. Remember we spoke about this yesterday, about correlations and how useless it is for us day traders, in the opposite direction to precious metals. So it's basically saying negative correlations are not always working, which is the truth. That said, the magnitude of dollar weakness pales in comparison to the moves in the metals. It also comes as traders weigh the prospects of US military action with Iran. A report from Wall Street Journal that the US is considering further tanker seizures ahead of a visit to Washington from Israel Prime Minister Benjamin. They also recently, the UN in Iran sent out to American citizens that should leave Iran, right? They should leave the country as fast as possible. Ahead of a visit to Washington from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin. Yeah. It's kind of wild. The Americans gotta go back to America. We're working in Iran. Probably getting paid really nice though. When you work in those kind of countries, when you're working for organizations or NGOs, oh, you get a fat paycheck. So if you gotta live in a first world country and you work in those NGO type work, just go to Nigeria. You know, go to Nigeria, go to Somalia, go somewhere. You get a really fat paycheck. They pay you very well. I think the salary for someone at a high level, let's say even something like the GIZ, right? The GIZ is probably going to be like $10,000. But most of the people at that level are probably in their, I would say, like towards their retirement age. Like mid 40s and onwards towards the 60s. Probably get in like mid 40s. I know a person who's actually surprisingly like quite young, and she makes about that amount, and she's only about like 30. Paychecks are really good. Like 10,000, because you know 10,000 freaking euros in a third world country as well. You're gonna live like a freaking king. 10,000 euros a month. Escape the matrix. Freedom. Anyway, let's see. Price here on the 5 on US 100 is breaking resistance. A daily is down 0.09. Still bearish, but nothing too interesting. I think it's just about lunchtime, guys. It's lunchtime right now, so market's probably gonna start slowing down, especially on gold. Seems like gold has created itself a resistance point right over here. You got a support area down here too. So we're kind of stuck in a range of about 220 pips. It is 619. This is a pre-New York, but we're getting closer and closer and closer to NFP. So the further we inch closer to NFP, the more we're going to range right over here. So I'm thinking like this could be it, because remember, like price has just been pushing up, but now it's looks like it wants to slow down. Like I'll be surprised if it actually breaks these highs and then keeps pushing up, because it seems we're breaking into a sideways consolidation right now. This is probably the range that maybe takes us into, because it's 6. You said what, 2 more hours? Yeah, go like basically like let's just say 2 hours then towards the NFP. Yes, and it could be this 220 pip range that it holds. So what you would expect to see for the NFP, I would say if we hold this range, then obviously we're going to see like a candle come down, boom, liquidity grab like this, and then continue to move up bullish. Maybe something of the sort. That's what I'm expecting. Definitely fireworks. I will definitely be watching this while eating some popcorn and drinking some tea with Boris Johnson. He's going to sit on the couch and watch the NFP over there. Whatever happened to Bojo, guys? Anybody who lives in the UK in the chat? Whatever happened to Bojo? Where is Boris Johnson today? Bahamas. Johnson and his new wife settled in Islington, North London, an area known for its association with the left liberal intelligentsia. I think he finally took some time off to fix his hair. Good one, good one, good one. The guy had a nice little Ed Sheeran kind of like hairdo over here. Hey, but you know, good on him. Still got a full head of hair. I'm sure Trump envies this guy's hairline. Boris Johnson versus Ed Sheeran. You see? They got the same hair. The only difference is Bojo just needs to put a bit of hair gel in there, you know, get it looking like this. This guy cost me a lot of money. Well, it was a lot of money to me at least. She's married to on his face in his Instagram. That was last post here November 7th, 2025. Wouldn't be surprised if his name came up in the Epstein files. I think I sell now. Do I think Epstein really died? Ooh, it's hard to say, you know, these rich people are quite slippery. You got a lot of money, it's very hard to kill a rich person, you know. They could even put like a fake death. They could like fake the death somehow. You know, they could like have taken a pill or just like paid someone and just like fake the death somehow. And then just say you gotta disappear and never come back. And they're gonna put him somewhere. So I don't know. It's like Tupac, right? I don't know. Okay, no, Tupac probably died. But yeah, that guy was too powerful. Like he's so rich and powerful. I don't know. Or maybe they got scared, you know? There's a lot of like rich people as well. He was not the only rich person. There's a lot more rich people, richer than him, who were also afraid of him. He had a lot of information. So I guess better to like take him out, right? Did I say the Diddy documentary? Yeah, I did. It's really good. Well done. Like 50 Cent is a brilliant guy. The guy is, he always amazes me how smart he is and the way he set that whole thing up and everything. It was a really nice documentary. It made me think like a lot. That Diddy documentary, you know, you can learn a lot about you know, it's all psychology, man. Like Diddy always somehow knew of the sort of like gift that he had. So it's always like you always gotta lean into that gift that God gave you. You know, whatever it is, everybody got their own gift. So you just gotta lean into it and you gotta embrace it, right? So Diddy's gift was he had a good ear. He could listen to music and he could put pieces together and like make like a very good marketing, right? He knew what sounded good and you know what would play out really nicely. And that was his gift. But you know, and the documentary says he was more jealous of the musicians because God didn't give him the gift of actually making music. That's why he was very jealous of people like Tupac and the people he was working with, because he could market it brilliantly, but obviously he also wanted to be in the spotlight. He also tried his hand at freaking music as well. He put himself in all the music videos. He wanted to be like them, but God didn't give him that gift. Gave him a different set of skill sets. And you can see it, man. That documentary, you can see, man, this guy has been blessed with a gift, but he's just abusing that power, you know, because he's got like a corruption. You know, some human beings, they're just corrupted like that. God blesses them with a gift, but they gotta feel like it's not enough. But whatever it is, when you find it, you just gotta lean into it, stay humble, because right now he'll be living a perfectly normal, healthy lifestyle, but instead he's in prison. And yeah, that was a very well made documentary. You can learn a lot from it. I always learn a lot from successful people. If you had a cameraman following you throughout your whole day, what would your movie look like? During that documentary, like how Diddy's days were looking at, like, or if you watch the Kanye West documentary, how Kanye West days were looking like. If you had a cameraman, boy, imagine Kanye West had a cameraman following him before he was even famous. And you always wonder, how do these famous people have fucking cameras on them before they were famous? How do they have all of this content before anybody knows who they are? And it all starts in the mind, man. You see in the mind, you see the way you live your life on a day-to-day basis if you had a camera following you. How would your movie look like? Would it be an inspirational movie like The Social Network, you know, Mark Zuckerberg? Like, how would your movie look like? It's been roughly a month. Started with $15. Now I'm up 2K. Brilliant. Gold's a monster. Yes, since yesterday I took a buy from 50.12. I'm still in it. Sheesh. Why use the SMA more than EMAs? They give a bit more lag. I like the lag. I try to hold myself from trades. I don't want to get into trades. I want more reasons why not to get into a trade. And if I got like not so many reasons not to get into a trade, then probably that's the trade that I should be taking. But if you look for reasons to get into a trade, there's always a reason the market is going to give you. And it looks like we're already breaking out of the range. So this is interesting. Maybe this is not going to be the range that holds up until NFP. But it still feels like we're breaking into a much larger sideways movement there. Maybe like comes back in. But in terms of entry confirmations, there's still no real entry confirmations right now. You still got the 5 minutes about to close above resistance, but you're kind of buying into nothingness. Like all this is just like what is this up here? Oh yeah, all of this is just nothingness. It's much higher time frame zones. Yeah, the 5 minutes about to close here. It's re-breaking the previous 5 highs. It's probably going to stop pushing up, but it's not the best setup because there's nothing like literally like here on the left hand side that can act as breadcrumbs. The only situations that make sense is, I guess, if it's an early session and we're already moving up quite a lot, but you see we're coming closer and closer to New York right now, so it's a bit more risky to do that. I would actually expect it to start ranging. It would be more healthy for price instead of just exuberantly going up. It would be more healthy for it at this time to come down. So even if you wanted to take buys, to be able to take buys as price retraces back downwards. It's the same way as how we took this buy over here. We just wait for price to come down, and then it comes down, and then you can get your buys back up. But this is definitely still quite scary at 1.60% on the daily. I wouldn't feel too confident about that. Oh, 3 more likes to 100. Let's go. YouTube's done me so dirty. Like, damn, sometimes you gotta feel like you're being attacked personally. It's done me so dirty. So much value, but it doesn't recommend. You know, it's just all the algorithm. And for the OGs in the chat right now, I'll remember you all. And you will see on the days that there's gonna be high numbers, there's gonna be an influx of high numbers. It's never just like gradual. It's an influx. This is what we call the algorithm. When the algorithm works, it works in such a weird, mysterious way. Man, one time I was streaming and we had like, we had like 500 people, and then the numbers just jumped like 700, and then it jumped to 1,000, and then it jumped to 1,500. Just like super, super fast. I was like, what the hell is going on here? It just felt completely unnatural. But that's what the algorithm is. Because, the thing is, like, people on YouTube, they don't actively go searching for someone. You're not going to actively search TFX. Let's be honest. Like, if it didn't show you somehow, if it didn't make it easy for you, you probably get bored and forget about me. But that's what the algorithm is, right? It will show you, and then those guys get the engagement. Because most people don't really actively look for those channels that like. They even forget the names. So it's all just like algorithm. It's quite interesting. I've been watching this thing. It's like trading, it's like trading. They have their volume, and if you look at the statistics of all the channels, imagine they have like a list of all channels, right? Mr. Beast and everybody, Will Smith and all these celebrities. And then you have the other tier of people over here, which is just the fake celebrities, which are basically influencers, fake celebrities. And then you have the tier over here, which is like the up and coming YouTubers. And each of these channels, they all gotta have like metrics. They all have their own kind of graphs. And remember, they work with advertisers, so they need to, you know, have that audience, and they can somehow move the markets to in line with the advertisers and the ad revenues, and they have their ways of controlling the flow of money. So maybe they find it more lucrative to keep pushing towards like more sustainable, bigger channels. And then for the smaller channels, you kind of get like, maybe they have like a different tier. I don't know how to fucking do it, but there's something that they're doing. And I've just been experiencing it here since especially since last year, September. They're like gods. YouTube are like, the owners of YouTube are like, you could imagine the god of the market, right? So you see like with these markets, you have like market makers. You got Wall Street, you have hedge funds, etc., who move markets. Man, YouTube is like a god of all of this when it comes to all those statistics. And they get to like move the bar how they want. These guys are freaking brilliant, man. I watched a video of them when they were much younger, complaining about how they only had 30 uploads today. They're like 3 guys, and they were sitting in a room, and they were like, it's kind of slow. We only had like 30 uploads today. Imagine that. Nowadays, YouTube gets like 50 million videos a day. 50 fucking million videos being uploaded on YouTube a day. These guys are sitting in a room one time complaining about 30 videos. How do you even stand out in an ocean of 50 million videos? And especially now with AI, everything is so much easier to make. So now the algorithm has to work even harder to remove the low quality content, I guess. Alright, so my bad. Maybe I over-exaggerated 50 million a day. Because around like, it's still a lot though. Every day, I got about 2.6 million videos a day. But in a month, you get 77 million in a month videos being uploaded. So every minute you have video uploaded, 1,800 videos are being uploaded every minute. Right? Videos uploaded, time frame every minute. Hours uploaded, 360 hours. Every day, 2.6 million videos. Every week, 18 million videos. Crazy still. Still a pretty big amount. We take an entry on the 1 minute red candle, and according to the SL ratio becomes a 1-3 or 1-5. It's working wonders for you. Oh, nice. You can send in a chart on the Discord. Hey Vic, I was working on a new strategy. So basically in gold, when a support becomes a resistance, it makes a FVG in the 5 minute. If the market taps into the FVG and rejects from the FVG. Oh, very nice. Yeah, you gotta talk to an FVG specialist about that. I think, you know, like when you go to the doctor, you gotta go to the specialist for that problem, if it's a problem. But you can send in a chart here in the Discord, and we're gonna have somebody look at that. More traffic on TikTok? Yeah, we have a pretty good audience on TikTok. Problem with TikTok, it is a brain rot. So you're not allowed to do live streams there. You're only allowed to do dances. Only thing you can do on TikTok is dance videos. But when I was doing live streaming, we had like, you know, 500 people, and we already started like, with so many people already, but they just don't allow trading live streams. But there's someone on TikTok who uses my voice. And for some reason, he's allowed to live stream, but I'm not. So, I don't know. 1 hour clean range. Yeah, I got 1 hour clean range. No, 4 hour clean range. This thing looks like it wants to skyrocket. Probably is for the NFP. You can see it's also in a distribution. Remember, this was that zone that we were in since yesterday. We had that 4 hour resistance. Remember, like playing with this area multiple times. But remember, yesterday's stream we mentioned that price will be accumulating below that level for it to break above that level, right? So that's what we got happen here, and it's currently in that distribution trying to break above 50.80 over here right now. It is on the way up, so that's typically what we like to see for price to get through certain levels like this. So yeah, I think on the 4 hour, on the daily, it all looks pretty solid for it to move up. So now all that's left is NFP numbers. Let's get NFP numbers, and then we get the core CPI on Friday. You missed a gold entry. When it fixed thing in the garage, when I came back, entry is gone. It's also even right now it's still, it would be nice if come down, create a support here by 5100 and then break 5100 to back into the gulag. Because right now doesn't seem like a time to be buying gold. I feel like this thing needs a retracement. It needs to come back into the range and kind of hold off for a bit. But you know, if it creates that support, it would trigger a buy if it broke above 5108.52ish area over here. It would trigger buy orders. See, now if it like creates that support and actually breaks above it, it would trigger a buy order. That'll be like buy, but you see that should even be a fake out. If it wants to fake out, since we've already got the 5-minute candle move up here towards this area, this should be the fake out. So you get that support being created on the 1 and then rebreaks here by 5100. It will make more sense to come down, considering how the 5-minute just took out these highs and pulled down again. But you see, if it comes back up there, at least this time when it breaks the highs, it's breaking with confirmation. You know, the first time it broke the highs without confirmation. Or like, let's say a lower probability confirmation than what we have currently right now setting up. Live stream till NY. A 24-hour stream. Now, I kind of miss the longer streams as well. I used to do a lot of long streams before. I like streamed like 6 hours one time. That's kind of like how the OG streaming was in the times when, remember, we got like Donvo and Lorenzo Corrado. Man, we had like, that was the OG time, and I genuinely enjoyed streaming then. Nowadays it's kind of like boring, I gotta admit. I also had Dr. Dollar was streaming during that time. I got boring, but I was like, alright, so if all the OGs gone, maybe I'll just be the only one left to do it. All the kind of OGs have gone. Those guys don't stream as much anymore. Dr. Dollar is trying to stream again. I personally like that guy. I used to follow him a lot when I was unprofitable. I used to look up to him and another guy called Daniel Savage. But yeah, gotta bring back the long streams. Come on now. I'm gonna keep some of this OG energy for the London session as well. Trade-a-thon, yes sir. Like how Kai Cenat does his mafia-thons, and when he's playing video games, we need one for like NFP days or something like that. Respect the hustle, streaming every day. Hey, it's fun, man. I enjoy it. Because otherwise, what else am I gonna do? I took a trade this morning, 8 minutes. I woke up, I was on the chart for 8 minutes. I took a London trade, I was on the trade for literally like less than 5 minutes. What else am I gonna do? You know? There's nothing much to do. Dude, there's so many traders in the world who don't know what to do. You're only seeing such a small part of it. All these people who, day in the life of a trader, Rolex store. Day in the life of a trader, I bought a Lamborghini today. Like, that's first of all marketing, and that's a smaller portion of it. There's so many traders who just don't know what to do, especially like day traders. They don't know what to do. You're gonna go and water the garden after the session or something, you know. We need a proper gaming stream. Yes, because it's discipline. You know, discipline requires patience. Like, it requires patience, because even if you look at something like gymming, right? You can't gym every day. Like, your muscle needs at least 24-48 hours, at least for like 2 days of waiting, you know. So you gotta hit the gym, but man, your body still needs to rest. It needs to repair the tissue. You need to work on your diet for those 48 hours, then you can hit it again. Then that's how you get the most growth like that. You know, trading is the same way, man. You want to trade more, you want to get really big quick, but you just have to take that trade and then go sit in a garden like Pablo Escobar over here. You know, because what else are you gonna do? Somehow the universe has a way of slowing things down for you, in a sense, you know. Things take time. Yep, goldie looks like it wants to skyrocket though. This thing looks like it's not trying to go back into that range, folks. It's breaking the highs. It's finna blow up right now.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I read finance books. Very nice. It finna blow up. It looks like it wants to move up. It does not want to hold down. Like, this is the thing with gold, man. She's a wild cat. She's a wild cat. Like, you're trying to like bring her down, telling her, hey, let's relax. And she's like, nah. I want to go to the Gucci store. It's already moved up like 23 pips. Jeez, and it's still pushing. She's like, no, babe, let's go. Let's go spend this money. Like, chill. Chill, gold. I think zero drawdown on that entry too. It's like zero drawdown entry. Just push straight to 22 pips. Trying to distribute that section right here. But babe, we've already done so much today. And she's like, no. I want to go to Louis Vuitton next. Look at this thing. It's still going up. It's still going up. It just hit 30 pips now. 30 pips. It's at 5,100. I don't think so. We can keep going up. Yeah, kind of scary over there. Especially because it's playing out, chat. Like, this is great. Like, there's literally no fake out. I've not seen a single buy fail since we started stream. Like, all the buy setups have been playing out. And we've been streaming here for about 4 hours of straight back to back TetraFX constant breakout buys playing out for the whole 4-hour stream. This is insane. I thought this one would at least fake out, but it's still playing out. Just about like 40 pips. Crazy, man. Crazy. But anyway, that's my cue. I'm gonna go and watch. I'm gonna go watch the NFP later with some popcorns. Be very careful with the non-farm payrolls. And I will see you all tomorrow. Adios, everybody. Take care.